Drakkenheim is no more. Struck by a falling star, the city bathed in eldritch fire on that woeful eve. The tumultuous aftermath brought chaos, families torn asunder, and a kingdom shattered. 15 years later, monsters stalk the haunted streets of Drakkenheim. Caught amidst rival factions struggling to rule the rubble, three unlikely partners venture forth into the crumbling city in search of riches, renown, and revenge.
Welcome to Drakkenheim. This is our weekly Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition game with the Dungeon Dudes. That's me, Monty Martin, the Dungeon Master.
And I'm McLaughlin, and I'm playing the half-elf shadow sorcerer, Sebastian Crow. And we're joined today by my good friends.
Jill Denitis playing Veo Senya, the Tabaxi Gloomstalker Ranger.
And Joe O'Gorman playing Pluto Jackson, the human battle master.
When last we left our heroes, Veo, Peludo, and Sebastian had made their way out of the city of Drakkenheim once again, cutting a deal with the Hooded Lanterns, the remnants of the former City Watch, for access through the Shepherd's Gate. Our heroes now find themselves in the position where they can easily get into the inner city of Drakkenheim, the most dangerous part of the ruined city, which is still thick and covered in the Haze, a magical pollution which prevents them from taking long rests while they're in the ruins, with sole exception of their safe haven of the clock tower, where they are high above the haze and they can breathe clean air. As they made their way out of the city, our heroes encountered Pluto Jackson's rival, Lord Jupiter Jones, as they trailed their good friend, the Rat Prince. Jupiter Jones had in his sights the idea to kill the Ratlings and the Rat Prince, who had found themselves covered under a wagon and attacked by trolls. A challenge ensued, and Jupiter Jones was taken down by his troll, and Pluto Jackson slew his troll. The awesomeness of this situation meant that you have now kind of won a little bit of favor with Jupiter Jones's men. Pretty cool, if you do say so myself. Afterwards, you managed to make your way back to the old Eckerman Mill, where our adventure began, to rendezvous with River, your contact in the Amethyst Academy, who hired you all to begin with. Unfortunately, River was not happy with the results of your mission to secure information from Oscar Yoren. After some discussion over what to do next, because the research, she was expecting you to have real research, and you produced nothing but what Oscar Yoren told you. Because of this, you were able to talk your way through the situation. You still got paid a little bit on the condition that you will head back into the city to find one of the Eldritch Lilies and bring it to Oscar Yoren, in the hopes that he can synthesize some sort of potion or inoculation against the haze. Your mission now is to collect the Eldritch Lily, get Oscar Yoren to create one of these potions, and then test the efficacy of the potion, potentially even testing the dangerous effects of the haze. How you're going to accomplish that part still remains to be seen, but for now, it seems our heroes are resolved to head back into the ruins to Queen's Park Gardens, the only location where these Eldritch Lilies are said to grow. What will you do next?
As we prepare for the most dangerous D&D mission ever, picking flowers, Pluto Jackson is on his highest guard.
Well, guys, this one should be a walk in the park.
Ooh.
Get it?
That's good.
Well, I don't know. The state of the park is maybe not as safe as it once was.
I mean, was that park ever safe? It was kind of...
It's pretty safe. The nobles used to go walking through it.
I don't trust nobles.
Oh, okay.
Does it have good lighting?
Is it
Try
like
to power through that?
I mean, it's never really light here in Drakkenheim anymore.
Yeah.
I remember it being a pretty nice park. Don't remember the Eldritch Lilies. Did they always grow there?
I mean, I personally never saw them. I know of lilies, but I don't know.
Yeah,
where
we're
they're
looking
at.
for like lilies. Do we know what we're looking for?
Like lilies. That's
Yeah.
all I know. Like flowers.
Cool.
But like I think they're like
We're like on our
flowers.
way there, and it's just like, do we know what the flower looks like? Pluto, you know what an Eldritch Lily is,
Look,
right?
I've met lots of lilies in my life. I had a lily gardener. I had a lily cook. I had a I had a lily.
Are we talking about the same thing?
no.
Are we not trying to find an elder lily, like
Like
an
a
old lily?
Like a person named Lily
Yeah.
who's old?
Yeah.
no.
Is that?
Veo, do you know what an elder lily is? I mean, an eldritch lily? Oh, God. Pluto, why?
Yeah,
the
it's a-
seed has been planted.
It's a
I
type
don't
So
of
know.
many puns.
flower.
Plant pun night?
It's a type of flower.
Yeah, I've seen flowers before, and I assume that these are going to be flowers that my assumption would be they attack us because they're
Why is that the assumption?
because they're like weird lilies in this weird place.
I just assumed that they'd probably be magical looking and we'd probably know them to look at them, but
Okay, let's bank on that.
yeah.
Don't lilies need light to?
I don't
I'm
know.
sure these ones are magical. Why else would he want them?
Yeah, that's
They
true.
won't necessarily need light. We'll see.
Maybe they feed on haze.
We should have really gotten like a diagram
Yeah.
or like a quick.
Oscar, you are-
Maybe this is why
Yeah.
River was so mad. We didn't do a good job at gathering information. He was just like, go find eldritch lilies. And we were like, all right,
It's a
we won't kill
failed
ya.
report. We're doing a
Let's
seed
go.
report, and we for like grade 3, and we just failed because we didn't bring any seed.
As you discuss on your way back into Drakkenheim, you've rested for the evening at the mill again. And if we pull up our map, what is the route that you want to take? I'm guessing you're probably going to go back through the Shepherd's Gate through the hooded, your contact with the Hooded Lanterns.
Yeah, that's our safest way in, and then we can move along the main road, kind of like past 5 and 9 there.
Mhm. That's where the Hooded Lanterns barracks
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
yeah, and then if we just move along that main street until we have to turn right on that other main street, and then I see kind of like a little side street that kind of goes right to Queen's Park Garden. That's a little bit bigger than some of the other alleyways.
I can even take you down a couple alleyways that might be a bit safer than
Yeah,
taking the
what am I
main
doing
streets.
planning the route?
Emma.
I'm just
Hey,
like,
you
I
just
just take your
refamiliarize-
map and I'm like, hey, yeah, if we take these major lines here, it will lead us right there.
Just familiarizing yourself with, your hometown.
Well, I mean,
It's
I
good.
lived outside of this city. I only came here on occasion when I was brought here by my father
Sure.
for like events.
Yeah, I think that would be the safest way. As long as we don't go too far near the market gate, then I think we should be okay.
Okay, cool. So you'll be heading through Shepherd's Way and then taking your route through the streets between the Market Street and then directly into Queen's Park Garden from the west.
Yes.
Okay. Let's close our map up and we will venture forth. It is a misty, rainy morning as you depart into Drakkenheim.
What a surprise!
What a surprise. The rain is light. It's rather overcast. And as you head through Shepherd's Way along the well-traveled routes now that you've established between yourselves to get along kind of the outskirts of the city through the sprawl into where Shepherd's Gate is. It's wet, it's dank, but you make the journey in pretty good time, having done it yesterday. And as you arrive at Shepherd's Gate, the familiar horns of the Hooded Lanterns sound as you approach, and a few of the Hooded Lanterns, as they lower the gates and open the door, say, "You're back already, eh?"
More business in the city.
Our work never ends.
They asked to see the form that the commander gave you,
I
the letter
have
of
it.
marque.
Oh no! I frantically search around. No, I have it. Here it is.
Okay. They look it over and say, "Go on through. Try not to get killed."
You as well.
That's such a nice thing to say.
Thank
Not
you.
enough people
Happy
say
hunting.
that at these crossing points.
As always, the Hooded Lanterns barracks are well defended. The flag's still hanging overhead. And the great gate opens up. They allow you to head through. And as always, as you walk through Shepherd's Gate, you can see the arrows and crossbow bolts of the Hooded Lanterns manning the gatehouse itself, trained on you, ready for the slightest provocation. The Hooded Lanterns never let one. They always, as you go through Shepherd's Gate, they always open the first gate, keep the second one closed, close it, then open it. A clear sign of their paranoia, because they never know if they raise both the gates, that could be the moment of an attack.
I feel the trust here. A lot.
Yeah. So much for the commanders.
Yeah, this form means absolutely nothing.
I mean, at least they let us pass, I
Yeah,
guess,
I guess.
instead of
True.
shooting us.
Yep.
Was that the alternative?
Are we just
Possibly.
new? Maybe if we did this enough times, they'll do like the whole they just go, "Hey, Bob," and then we
Yeah,
just
I guess if we
flash the.
if we
favor.
continually bring them like treasure and like the heads of our enemies, which apparently they want, maybe they'll start to be like, "Oh, hey guys, welcome back." But maybe it's an earning.
We have a
process.
rattling head, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey guys at the gate, we have one flat rattling head. You said that we could exchange this for gold.
The gate guard sighs and says, "Well done." They collect the head, and a short while later, they produce a couple gold coins in a purse. It gives you good job, I
Good
suppose.
You take it. You take it.
Wait,
That's what we were out
was
there
it
for
two,
so long
or was
for.
it 3 gold?
I think the agreed bounty for rattlings was 5 gold pieces.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
there you go. You take it this time. I'll get it next time.
You sure you don't want to split these?
No, it's fine.
Okay, I'll take it.
And with that, you head along the Shepherd's Way into the heart of the city. As you cross through the streets along Shepherd's Way, you come to the intersection where Shepherd's Way and Market Street intersect. You are looming at the base of the campus district of Drakkenheim, and looming high overhead in front of you is the great tower of the Amethyst Academy that stood in Drakkenheim. It is an imposing sight, a thin, needle-like tower that rises 360 feet into the air. And at the topmost point of it, rising to a complete point, but then there's a large, broad disc of a balcony floating out over the sides. Of course, as you trace your eyes up from the city itself to the top of the tower, you can see very clearly that the middle section of the tower has been completely blown away, and there is a noticeable gap, perhaps about 25 to 30 feet wide, between the lower section and the upper section of the tower of the Mage Guild. Yet, defying gravity, the upper part of the tower still floats in the air, bobbing a few inches at a time.
I have to ask, just because of my visual that I'm getting, are there like little bits of debris and rock kind
Yes,
of also just
that are
floating,
floating
like
around.
almost like it's orbiting around the tower?
And as you look, you can actually see that there is a small rope ladder that has been strung from the middle section to the upper section.
I was gonna say, if we ever go up there, we don't necessarily need the rope ladder. Got my
You got your
quick
grapple
shot.
shot.
my grapple shot.
Now,
I
this
mean,
breach itself is about 2/5 the way up the tower, where the breach is, and it has a very clear direction to the kind of extra rock kind of soared off and hit in the distance as it and struck right through the tower, is kind of the appearance of the tear in the tower.
judging by the trajectory of it hitting the tower, where would it look like that piece of rock landed?
A little bit to the north of the tower, but within the city gates.
So still in the city.
Still in the city.
Okay.
That could be interesting.
And as you come into the campus district, the haze is very thick here. It's not the mist of the rain. You are coming into an area of the deep haze.
How
Is this okay, guys? Should we be walking? It's getting hard to see. Is it like a thick fog, but like purplish?
Or is it just like heavy air?
It is a thick fog. The haze itself obscures sight in Drakkenheim. On a good day, you can only see a couple 100 feet down the street. But as you come into the campus district, with its old stone buildings and slate shingled rooftops, these brownstone style apartment buildings and houses all lining the streets, several libraries, academies, various buildings of education. The mist is very thick and obscures vision so that you can only see maybe about 30 to 50 feet ahead of you. And as you start breathing in the haze, it almost feels like, as you get closer and closer, it feels like it's starting to burn a little bit in your lungs.
Don't like that feeling.
Everybody be extra careful. I can't see very well in this.
I think to be safe too, you guys might want to like wrap at least a piece of cloth around, your face. I'm a little bit resistant, but it might be a little bit more detrimental to you.
I pull a handkerchief out and wrap it around my face.
You look like a bandit.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to or not?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll do that too.
Okay. As you continue to walk through the streets of the campus district towards the Queen's Park Garden, breathing in and out through the cloth, you start to see Vale. You can see little flakes of delirium are collecting on the face masks that they put up as they're breathing it in. And the face masks start to help a little bit, but as you keep breathing in, you're starting to feel a little bit nauseous, the two of you. Please, both of me, give me a Constitution saving throw.
No.
You can do one with advantage, please.
9.
19.
Oh.
13.
13.
I don't feel so good, guys.
Vale, you're starting to feel a little bit sick as well. Pluto, you're okay. Sebastian, you think you're going to throw up, and you begin like upchucking in your face. What are you going to do?
Take the handkerchief off so that I
Okay.
don't puke into my own handkerchief. And am I going to be sick?
One more Constitution saving throw.
26.
You take the face mask off, breathe in the air, and it burns the insides of your lungs as you breathe it in. And you start to convulse as you breathe it back in, but you don't throw up.
Is this better?
No, it's far worse.
Oh, God.
It's far worse. You are now poisoned and will be until you leave the haze. You'll need to take at least a short rest or be treated in some way.
Does he know he's poisoned?
He does. He's feeling sick and he's starting to turn pale.
Oh.
I put the handkerchief back on.
How
No.
how far away from me are we from my tower?
From the clock tower,
Yeah.
you'd have to cross all the way across town to get there now.
Are you gonna be okay?
Of course, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'll be fine.
Okay.
You just don't
Wait,
look fine. You almost threw up in your handkerchief. And I remember you telling us how you didn't want to throw up in your handkerchief.
Yeah, that was a joke. I don't know, guys.
looking a bit pale, but let us know if you get worse, and we can always get out of here. But if we can keep venturing on,
Yeah, don't worry about me.
okay.
I love delirium. By the way, okay, are you okay breathing this in? I know you can touch delirium, but like I can touch glass doesn't mean I should breathe it in, you know? Are you doing okay?
I'll be fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you want a handkerchief?
Yeah.
All
Just
right,
in case.
Here
and
you go.
I tie one around my face just in case. I'm like, I shouldn't take too many chances with delirium. I've been a bit,
Okay.
liberal with it so far.
Yeah, but
I'm fine too, everybody.
You are now deep in the campus district. Are you going to proceed through the shortcut, or are you going to change your route?
I think Hey guys, I'm fine, but it's hard to see, and I think that maybe if we move out of the thick haze, and that might be nice.
We can take a roundabout way to get us a little bit through a lesser haze.
Okay.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
that I need to, but for Pluto.
Just in case.
Fine for me. I don't like the haze.
Thank you.
I'm just like eating my handkerchief.
So you divert the group to a heading that skirts closer along the north end of the market square. Passing away from the thickness of the haze around the base of the mage tower, the air starts to clean up a little bit, and you can all give me one more constitution saving throw. Vea once again with advantage.
19.
15.
10.
Okay. Sebastian, the poison condition has with this time, you're able to breathe it off now that you've had clean air. It takes about an hour to navigate your way, but you found your way to Queen's Park. You're not quite in the same place that you intended to come in from the west. You're now coming in from the south, approaching from the south instead. Taking a little bit of a longer route, but as a result, you've avoided the thickness of the haze in the campus district.
Sorry, guys. I'll keep that in mind next time we come in this direction.
Yeah, I guess you probably wander through there a lot easier than most people do.
I go pretty quick, yeah.
It hurt my lungs a bit. I didn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. It wasn't the best situation I've been in.
Maybe I'll start to mark. Sorry. Maybe I'll start to mark off the areas on the map where it's a bit of a thicker haze, so that way I can know to avoid them for y'all's lungs later.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Okay. You are now at the south end of Queen's Park Garden, as the areas of this kind of area of the city that you've moved through is a wealthier part of the city. It's a wealthier residential area between the campus district and the market district along the edge of the park. This was some prime real estate in its day. And the homes built along the edges of the Queen's Park Garden are not so much buildings, but estates. Many of them have high stone walls with wrought iron spikes along the tops of them, large manor houses with fine balconies overlooking the vistas of Queen's Park. Queen's Park itself is a large divergence from the terrain of Drakkenheim because it is a forested park. And the leaves and greenery of Queen's Park, as you first look upon them, are a sickly deep green. Almost like the leaves are in a perpetual state of autumn, just in that moment before they start changing color.
High pigment.
Many of the trees, you can see through them. Just looking at the trees, you can see that they are shot through with this peeling bark that is peeling off in strange patterns, almost twisting up the edges of the trees, revealing the wooden flesh of the trees underneath the bark, which is discolored and taken on this purpley green hue beneath. Several of the trees, you can see that there look like it might be bits of delirium growing out of them, and little bits of the haze hang through the garden. The whole of Queen's Park, well, it's not fenced in on any area. The main thoroughfares leading into it are of a beautiful stone masonry that form these wide boulevards that are covered with overgrown hedges, topiary figures, statues, and majestic columns. There are the arch beneath each entranceway is a grand triumphal arch, which is marked with statues of winged women, angels riding upon chariots, in a tribute to the wonderful queens of the city throughout the ages of Drakkenheim. These majestic columns mark the entrance of Queen's Park.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to come here only once in a while, but I always used to look up at these houses and this beautiful garden and wonder what kind of people lived in this area of the city and how wonderful their lives must be.
My life was pretty wonderful. It's true.
Yeah, this is really comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh,
Up until the point where, you know, the
I
whole
mean-
city got destroyed.
yeah,
It was wonderful before
I also
then.
remember it being like a place of wonder, and now it's kind of terrifying looking around here. The forest doesn't quite look as welcoming as it used to.
It's definitely got a sinister feel to it now. It wasn't. It used to almost have like the beauty of the queens like instilled into it.
Yeah.
And now it's been twisted and changed.
Pluto, this is your first time in Drakkenheim?
Yeah.
Used to look nicer than this, I swear.
Look, you guys are trying to sell me a lot on the Eustas.
Yeah, I guess there's not really any going back.
Love
This
to
is the
see some
Drakkenheim
pictures.
you're
Love
you're
to see-
visiting.
You have that tour guide, don't you? The tour book.
like my tour book. I'm looking at it's like this is nothing. Like they're
imagine, like,
overselling
One of those scenes in like movies where like you're holding up the tour book and it has the picture of Queen's Park and then you lower it and see the real
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
And it's just like decrepit and
Wah, wah.
overgrown.
It is very much overgrown. You can see in this part approaching from the north, the bushes that were here used to be topiary figures that had been shaped into the shapes of great beasts and monsters and wondrous creatures like unicorns, but now they're just these giant overgrown bushes. There are still many beautiful statues that can be seen, and the archways themselves, while they are stained with the markings of the haze and dirt and grime, bits and pieces of them have been marked off. There's still a quiet dignity to their former majesty.
If we're going in there, I'm going to tell you one thing I learned in magic school, and that's never, ever trust a statue.
Didn't you get kicked out of magic school?
Yeah, there was an incident involving me blowing up a bunch of statues that were just normal statues. That's not why I got kicked out, but it may
Probably added to
it
it.
may have added to
sorry,
it.
I'm sorry.
Thanks.
Just I wanted to remind, like you didn't graduate. Like I just want to make sure that we all know that you
I
didn't.
never said I did. I just said I learned something in magic school, and that was don't trust a statue. I also didn't say that it was always correct. Just that. Anyway,
I question your knowledge from magic school. That's
How
all,
would
that's
you
all
like
we're
to?
saying.
How would you like to proceed into the garden? Would you like to take one of the main pathways, one of the side paths, or blaze your own trail?
I mean, you're the guide here, but I feel like taking a road looks less scary than cutting through the trees and bushes.
It definitely is, but it also makes us an easy target. So I would say like maybe not a main path, but a side path.
Yeah, but I mean, we can handle anything. Pluto killed 2 trolls.
I've killed at least one troll. Is there a place where the haze is like less?
Wait, one troll? No, like
The haze in the garden is not as thick as it was in the campus district. It's receded back to the way that it usually is in most parts of the city.
So is there like any pockets of it that we can avoid, or is it pretty like it's everywhere?
Within your sight right now, you can see, were it not for the forests and the trees that obscure your vision deeper within, the haze seems to cling to the forested areas most thickly, whereas there are some open lawns that seem like the haze might be falling into the lower hills and dipping away.
You may have said this, but were there any light sources in there, or is it pretty dark?
There were, along the boulevards and the pathways, there were and still are many lanterns and lampposts, but none of them are lit.
Any eerie glows?
From the edge of the garden looking in, none that you can see.
So it's just like darkness as you go in.
Can
Just
I
the flash of the. Sometimes in the haze there is a flash of purple or eerie light in the distance. It does kind of play tricks on your mind from time to time, but you've traversed the city enough that those flashes of light, you recognize them for the glow of the mist and the haze itself.
Is there like a prominent large lantern or like a large something that I could like firebolt to like illuminate?
There are wrought iron lanterns that stand about 20 feet tall, evenly placed along the main boulevard, that are have broken glass in them that you could probably hit them, and if there's any pitch or tar still left in them, they might light up.
I aim for one, maybe like 2 or 3 away.
I have a drift globe as well.
After I fire my firebolt, I'm like, oh yeah. That,
Yeah,
But you do your thing.
Let's
I
use
mean,
a drift globe.
I'm not gonna light every single torch, so that
Well, we can see in
I mean, I
in
know.
the dark.
I
So
was-
it's mainly for him.
I wasn't scared.
Do you want some? You just want to light stuff on fire. Like I
Yeah.
get it. I get it. I get it.
Well, if we can be as stealthy as possible, because like you said, I don't trust the statue.
Well, I already lit that torch over there.
Yeah,
so,
good job.
A soft blue light comes from the drift globe, and it starts to follow just a little bit in front of me.
Okay. And which way are you going to head in?
Yeah, like if we could do a side path,
Okay.
rather than the main road. At least it's still a path, but we're not.
Like through the wooded areas, or
Off the southernmost entrance, there is a wooded and trellised. There's a pathway that
Yeah.
leads through a wooded area with a trellis overhead. Have you ever seen those forests where it's very clear that the branches have been deliberately grown into an arch overhead?
Ooh.
Yes.
We'll take that way.
All right, guys, let's go in.
Maybe we should just
What?
proceed
What could go wrong?
sneakily.
Stealth
Do you want to
roll.
go ahead?
Do you want to pass the trace?
I mean,
Do you think
Could
you
help.
need it?
it
Yeah.
could. I don't know what's in this garden.
All right. I'm gonna cast pass without trace. So that
Thank
way,
you, Vale.
just in case, we're gonna just be a little bit sneaky.
Veo, you lead the way,
Yeah.
and
Just in trace.
do you want
Just pass.
the back or the middle?
I'll take the middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You proceed along the trellised path with the trees branching overhead. This effect of the branches kind of combining over top of each other into an archway would have been well maintained in its day, but now the trees have surprisingly grown. There's a thick layer of leaves along the ground and you can hear them as you trudge through. They softly move, although you are passing without trace, so that leaves don't leave tracks.
Nope.
As you pass along the trellis, you can see out of the forest, and you can see in certain areas the forest opens up into sitting areas where several stone benches have been laid to the side. There are a few small streams that have been artificially created, some ponds within, countless bridges, a few stone terraces, and once in a while you pass by an elegant gazebo or a broken down one. The pathways go off in a multitude of ways. Are you heading towards the center of the garden, or what is your heading?
Let's look for a sign that says Eldritch Lily Collection.
Well, one thing I know about the garden is that like there are different areas based on the different queens. So I'm wondering if we should be going to check out those areas to see.
Was there ever a Queen Lily?
Mm,
Because that would be convenient.
no.
What did Oscar say?
Find me Eldritch Lilies. I drink delirium. My eyes are purple.
And you killed all my lackeys.
And you killed one of my lackeys.
Mm.
That's I'm
Okay,
still
so
not happy
The only
about
queen I know that's like, I mean, there was Queen Lenore, which was the last queen, but that's not really Lily.
Well, what do we know about Eldritch Lilies? We know that they are kind of like a production from the Haze, right?
Yeah, they didn't exist in the city until the meteor hit.
So maybe as much as we want to avoid the Haze, maybe the places where it is the most are where they are.
If we make our way to the middle, because all the roads kind of converge into the middle, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, so if we go towards the middle, from there we can look down each road and try to
Yeah.
see if we see anything that looks like it might be Eldritch
Just
Lilies.
off the path, are there any vegetation, any like, other than the trees and the vines and the...
There are
leaves?
vines clinging to everything, almost like leeches. And as you start moving deeper in, the thing that strikes you before seeing any other wildlife is that the haze here is carrying something that smells like a potent pollen on the air. It's a very different smell than the musky smell of rotting vegetation or the smell of dirt and flowers. It smells like it is a flower-like pollen smell that's quite heavy in the air as you get closer and closer to the center. It kind of tingles your nostrils and irritates the eyes a little bit. The garden itself, though, is very quiet, and Veo, you haven't even seen the corpse of a bird or a rodent or a small animal. It's very conspicuous. Like, there's no noises of wildlife in this garden.
It's so strange. This place used to be filled with wildlife. Nothing.
And nothing, and like no monsters, like even like weird squirrel monsters or bird monsters.
Delirium squirrels.
Yeah. You'd think
Yeah.
you'd see at least one delirium squirrel.
The only thing is, well, animals weren't the only thing that was alive in this garden.
Uh-oh. What do you mean?
Well, plants are alive.
Oh, I was going to say people, but okay. Yeah, plants, I'm on board.
Plants are
Wait,
alive.
what happens if delirium infuses a plant?
Sebastian, you were looking ahead as Polluto and Veo are talking, and you see a woman look over her shoulder and run into the woods.
Guys?
Yeah?
There's somebody... Was I like 100% sure I saw it, or was it like kind of hazy and...
She came out from behind one of the trees, saw you, you make eye contact with her, and then she turned around right back behind that tree. You didn't quite catch a look at her face. It looked like her hair was very scraggled overhead. She was kind of hunched over a little bit. She looked like she might have been sickly. She turned around, ran behind the tree that you saw her.
Guys, there's somebody here. And I start actually walking towards what I saw.
Are you going to go ahead?
I start walking
the order?
ahead.
Okay.
Sebastian's just like curiosity over safety.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll follow behind, about
I-
15, 20 feet behind.
I call out, "Hello, are you okay?"
And I'm just like,
She might need our help. Or she might try to kill us, but
probably the latter.
why
And
does it
I
always have to be the latter?
Run to catch up with them. I'm like,
As-
sneakily.
You run you run forward to catch up with him. You run a little bit into the forest. She's vanished without a trace.
I swear I saw somebody here.
Any signs like on the ground of like footsteps or movement?
I look down at the tree that she was hiding near and I start like looking for any signs.
Give me a perception check.
Would you accept investigation?
Yes, I will.
Except he's practically begging.
21.
There is no sign of footsteps here.
I don't trust it. We
Is
need to
this-
keep moving.
Are you still huffing on that haze?
I mean, I did huff in a lot of haze.
I say we keep going and ignore and just keep an eye out. Be a little bit more vigilant about.
Which way
what's
did
happening
she
around
run?
us.
Just behind the
just-
same tree?
Yeah.
To the northwest.
Let's.
I kind of like
Do we
back
follow her?
back away, back onto the path, and I'm just like staring around in the forest where she was, just confused and don't know if I even trust my own instincts on this.
So this is the question: do we follow it as like some kind of
Guide.
spirit guide, or do we completely ignore it?
Spirit guide or spirit trap?
Spirit trap.
That's where my instinct goes personally.
So the opposite. Let's go the opposite of the northwest,
Oh, but
which is the
But
back
what-
the way we came. No, like north.
what if she can help us?
What if she's gonna eat us?
Yeah, right now it's a 50-50 chance. I mean, like,
You really want to toss that coin?
I'm just saying it's as much of a chance that it's somebody who can help us. I mean, okay, maybe it's a little less.
What if
of a
she's
chance.
indifferent and she doesn't want to help us or
Haggard
hurt
woman
us?
hanging out in an abandoned garden in the middle of the city. You think she's gonna be the one to help us? No.
I mean, we met fish people and they invited us back to their kingdom.
Maybe she knows what happened to the squirrels.
Yeah, but
We
they
met
didn't even know
rat
us.
people. They were pretty nice.
That's because we scared them, intimidated them into helping us.
and we also
All I'm
ate
saying is we-
ate the fish people.
Yeah, we
to be
did.
fair.
We have a good track record
I have a
of
taste for them now.
befriending creatures and killing monsters. And we don't know yet if this is a befriendable creature
Or a monster to
or
kill.
a monster to kill.
Okay. Okay,
Guys
all
are
in
really
favor
making me
of
question my
of
instincts here.
following the lady.
Darn
He
you
kind of swung me
two.
with his speech.
Fine, only so I can keep you silent and protected with my magic.
What's the worst that can happen?
That we die.
Don't say that.
That we die in this
We die a haze
And I-
forsaken place.
I walk off into the woods in the direction I saw her run, and I'm like, come on, guys.
Okay.
Let's go flower picking.
After pacing for a couple steps and just being like, here we go again, I follow the rest of them.
So what's our order again? So now you're in front?
I'm in the back.
Yeah, I'm in the middle still.
I've started going first because I'm.
I'm pouting now.
Oh, Sebastian.
All right.
Darn guy's gonna get us killed. Yeah, you're grumbling in the
You
back.
trudge through the forest, following through the mists, which, as you follow through in the direction that they went, because there's no sign of any footsteps or footprints, the forest breaks and opens up into a larger lawn where there are several artificial pools of brackish water covered in algae and various plants growing out of them like reeds.
Is this like part of the park? It looks.
It
like,
is,
yeah.
yes, it is. You can see the Western Boulevard. It seems like you might have crossed through the southwestern section of the park and are now moving into the northwestern section of the park.
Oh, hey.
And this, from our kind of like, from my limited sort of understanding of the geography of it, this was the kind of the heavy haze part that we kind of avoided, right? Or
That
an
was the
assumption
haze
I'm
around
making?
the campus.
Okay.
Whether or not there is heavy haze in Queen's Park,
Does it
You know-
feel any different here than it did
the haze
before?
is no thicker than it was before.
Okay.
Do I recognize this part of the park?
Yes. Yep. This is the western part of the park.
Does it have a name?
The westernmost part of the park is dedicated, has the statues, the row of queens. So there's the statues of all the queens of Drakkenheim and several tiered gardens for each of them.
Oh, great.
I always liked this place.
Yeah.
I was here when I was very little.
Yeah, this is one of my faves, and my dad taught me about all the Queen's history here. It was great.
Yeah, Pluto, if you want to learn a little history of Drakkenheim, all the queens.
You know what? I'd love the tour, but before we die from haze or get murdered, do you guys want to go pick flowers?
Do you see any?
Do I?
There are several gardens to the north in the northwestern section as the row of queens. The forest breaks. There are still forested areas, but each one kind of separates out into a garden for several of the different queens.
I say we head towards those.
Yeah, but which one?
Start somewhere and
Who's your favorite queen?
Well, of course, I say current reigning queen because she hasn't been found yet. But Queen Lenore is my favorite.
let's start there.
All right.
Can't hurt. We'll work backwards.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
You said that twice now.
Yes,
What's your problem?
you remember, Veo, that in the northwest section,
murdered.
Lenore had a grotto built for her by the king, which was well known for having many different flowers and gardens around it.
Yeah. There's tons of flowers in that grotto that was built by the king. We should definitely take a look.
Is that like a greenhouse? I don't know what that is. A grotto.
A grotto? The grottos are very common. They were quite a fad in Queen's Park. And grottos in this case, as they're referred to in Drakkenheim, many of them are natural but often artificial caves that have sometimes plant life gardens inside them. Some of them go underground, some of them are above ground, but it's a combination of artificial and natural cave-like features that are used to build kind of a water garden.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, let's head there. I mean, we don't really have much of another lead other than the fact that we're looking for a flower.
None of us know what
that
it
none of
looks
us know what it looks like. So I'd say we start with flowers.
Well,
like any flower.
I mean, I know what lilies look like.
Yeah, yeah.
I've seen lilies before. I mean, they used to be all around the castle. That was like
so
one
maybe
of-
they're just like mutated lilies.
one of the favorite flowers.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the assumption that we're going with. So let's start with that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's find lilies.
Cool.
As you pass towards the boulevard to cross into the northwest, there are several pools and ponds as part of the gardens. And you can see that you come to a section of several archways, and there is what looked like they might have once been artificial ponds that were built here. You can kind of have this hazy memory of what they once looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And as that flash of recollection comes before you, these were once lily ponds of water lilies. And as you come around through this section, you can see that there is sprouting from the water before you a large, blossoming, purple lily. It is really big, almost like the size of two large hands together, floating in the water, just coming right up out of the water. And as you approach through the area, coming through like a copse of woods, you can see that there is that woman from before, and she's trying to pick the lily.
No.
Oh.
Has anybody else seen a lily that looks like that before in their life? No?
Do
No.
we
No?
see the lady?
Yeah, you do. She's standing in the water.
Is that the lady?
Yeah, you guys see that, right? Like I'm not super crazy, just a little crazy.
Just a little crazy, but nope. She's more crazy.
Is that
How far
Lily?
away are we from her?
You can all roll a stealth check right now.
We're passing without trace, so
+10?
+10.
Oh, that's good. I mean, good that I get the +10.
36.
You did it.
I get a 17.
Okay.
I got a 13.
Okay.
That's with the +10.
Guys, I rolled disadvantage.
Oh, no.
Clunk,
Okay.
clunk, clunk, clunk.
You come to
the most silent.
as you're coming out of the forest, crossing the boulevard. It seems like miraculously, Veo, Peludo has been left undetected.
Miraculously.
This woman, you can see her petticoats are floating up on the water. She's dressed almost like the torn up clothes of one of the castle staff. The kind of the maid like outfit and the petticoats that would have seen her possibly even one of the castle or royal handmaidens.
Yeah.
And she has black, scraggly hair that's coming down all over her face, and her skin is turning gray.
Mm.
And she's very delicately, you can see, she's starting to uproot the lily.
Do I recognize her?
You can't see her face.
I might have a little trick up my sleeve.
Go for it, but don't hurt her.
I cast Mage Hand, and I'm going to try to pick the lily up away from her.
Okay, you'll need to get within 30 feet of her, and right now you're about 50 feet away.
I walk.
Coming from this direction.
Oh.
We don't need to
Yeah. And this is the pond over here?
Yeah.
So I walk up between these two trees, and I very cautiously and quietly walk up, and then I cast Mage Hand, and the little hand appears, and it kind of just goes and tries to pluck the flower
Okay.
out of her hands.
As the hand appears in front of her, she shrieks. And quite suddenly you see her hair starts streaking down her body, almost like a tangle of vines. And as that does so, it pulls her flesh away, revealing almost like a woody skeleton beneath, which petrifies and disintegrates. And with a scream, she disappears, leaving behind the lily.
Yo, don't grab
I
that. Yo,
don't-
that lily.
Told you not to hurt her.
I don't know
What did you do? What
I
magic did you cast?
cast a hand.
You cast
The
a
hand is now
disintegrate
floating there
lady.
over the
Yeah,
lily.
the hand's like holding the lily like awkwardly, and I'm just like,
You
Oh my
disintegrated
God.
it. Is this an incident?
I've had another incident. There's been an incident involving
man.
a lily and a hand.
And have you pulled it out yet?
I feel like the hand like has it just like cupped there in the water, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Before you do, I walk up past you and I say, "Don't move the lily," because what I want to try to do is see if there are any like roots around it, so that way I'm not just plucking
Are
it.
you moving up into the water?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm still like, as I'm doing it, every couple seconds, I'm just looking up and around just to make sure I'm like, that person doesn't come back.
Yeah, be careful up there. I'm
Yeah.
very nervous right now.
I just want to see maybe if we get this lily with the roots and we give it to Oscar, then he can like grow himself more potentially, depending on his powers.
Yeah, this will all be easy.
Mhm.
What's the worst that could happen?
Stop. That's the
As you
Famous
third
move
last
time.
words.
forward, Veo,
Mhm.
you can hear a clanking noise
Is it
coming from
me?
the pathway up ahead.
Oh, okay.
It sounds like someone in loud plate boots, maybe even one or two someones,
Pluto, be
clanking forward.
Was the shriek like loud?
It was loud.
Uh-oh.
Guys,
quiet.
Do we hide?
I think we have to grab that lily and hide.
I
Bear,
just
hide.
rip it and I start to run back to the trees.
Okay, roll for initiative.
Come on, dice.
It's my good die today.
The dice are not working for me tonight. It's gonna be a good one.
It's going to be an exciting one.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what's the worst that could happen?
You said it.
3 times.
I'm having fun with it.
You disintegrated a lady.
I
Wha-
touched a
oh.
lily.
Yeah.
I
What?
really wanted to find out who she was.
So did I.
Before you melted her face.
No, before that. I recognize her clothes
Oh.
Yeah.
Like what?
from the castle.
Mm.
What do we got?
20.
9.
17.
Good job, guys. I imagine Sebastian is still like, you guys are like getting ready for combat, and I'm still staring at the place where she disintegrated. Just being
And
like,
Pluto,
"Oh,
where
God."
were you in relation to all this?
I'm kind of back where Sebastian first spotted her. So I'm probably
Okay.
about 50 feet back.
Yeah. All right. As this begins, as you go to rip the plant out, you can hear a low screaming coming up, but it's a rage-filled scream of a pair of voices going, "Ah! Hands off the flowers! No trespassing!" And it's a pair of voices.
Uh-oh.
And we can put the other one by the other archway. Yeah. Yep. That way. You can see running along the pathway are two elderly gnomes. One of whom has a massive bushy beard. The other which just has a glorious handlebar mustache.
Respect.
Both of them are dressed in the clothes of gardeners, and you can hear as they're clanking, they have backpacks filled with gardening tools on their backs that are clanking in the air. But both of them are wearing massive spiked plate mail boots, and as they run forwards, the two of them holding their hats over their heads, they've got these big kind of crimson-like hats that they're holding close. They take out a gigantic, oversized sickle.
Uh-oh.
And they start screaming, "Don't touch the plants! Leave them alone!"
I'm afraid of garden gnomes.
I am now.
Okay, as we go to the top,
Oh.
Veo, what do you do?
Ooh,
You have
okay.
the plant in your hands.
I have it in my hands.
Yep.
I start by using my feline agility, and I got freaked out by these shrieks. I'm just like, oh shit, I touched something I wasn't supposed to. And I turn around and I start booking it towards the tree.
Okay.
And I want to climb up the tree as much as I can.
Okay, so you're gonna climb up the tree with the flower. And you have the climb. So you keep the flower in hand and you scurry all the way up the tree like a scared cat in the tree.
Oh, man.
We're gonna need some firefighters to help me down. And yeah, that's it. I'm just like, I'm getting away from these guys because I don't necessarily know that they're bad. I want to start shooting at them if they're just protecting the flowers. Because I have respect for gardeners. Yeah.
They're the unsung heroes of the gardening world.
They are.
Okay. So next up, we have. So Veo, anything else you'd like to do?
I'll ready my crossbow in my other hand. Because I have the lily in one, and I'll ready the crossbow if they start attacking my comrades.
Okay.
I'll get it.
So next up we have Rankle Boots, the gnome right up over there, and Rankle Boots sees you go up the tree, and he takes his hands out to the side and he screams at the top of his lungs, "Naughty cat!" And he charges forward towards the tree, rushing at top speed. And as he gets forward, he leaps into the air, doing almost like a spinning roundhouse kick to kick the bottom of the tree as hard as he possibly can.
Oh, what?
What? This little what?
What a little fighter.
And he kicks the bottom of the tree, and there's a loud crack as a huge crack appears up the tree, like he's kicked this thing with inhuman force.
Oh.
And the whole tree shakes and reverberates all the way up. And Veo, I need you to give me a strength saving throw to stay in the tree.
What?
10.
You fall out of the tree and start falling down the branches. I got a deal for you. If you drop the lily, you can try to catch yourself. But if you want to keep your hands on the lily, you're going to fall all the way to the bottom.
I'm going to fall all the way to the bottom.
Okay.
I want to protect that lily.
You fall all the way to the bottom, dropping 40 feet.
Whew.
And you take 15 points of bludgeoning damage from the fall, and do Tabaxi have a thing that lets them land on their feet?
Not specifically.
Tabaxi do not land on their feet.
That's a good test.
I fell a little bit
Yeah.
ungracefully.
Pretty
But
ungracefully.
I'm protecting He said gear for
And
the
he lands on
plants.
the feet, and you see his face. His face has gone beet red, and he has this big kind of carbuncled nose with warts all over it. And his eyes themselves are fuming. It looks like steam might be coming out of his ears. And he looks down on you and says, "No touching!" as he raises the sickle to bring it down upon you. But he's out of actions for his turn. Paluto, it's your turn.
I'm gonna run up behind Rankle Boots, and I'm going to grapple him from behind. I'm gonna pick him up and kind of bear hug him from behind.
Okay.
Crit.
Good job.
Okay. As you go to grab him, he tries to throw back at you violently, and it feels like you're wrestling a troll.
I've done that before.
This tiny little creature just elbows back at you. And he gets a 23 on his check.
Okay, so for my check, it was a 24. I got
Okay.
a 20 plus 4.
Okay, I got a 19 plus 4.
Oh my gosh. You're a fighter,
So,
aren't
like,
you, little guy?
grab him and he just goes, okay.
Like a kid having a tantrum.
Yeah.
Trying to hold him, and I'm just gonna try to settle him. I'm like, easy, buddy, easy, little dude. What do I call him?
That's not gonna upset him.
Hey, we're all on the level, and what else can I do? Can I like try to pin him?
On your next action, yes.
Okay.
If you want to try to pin him. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna keep holding them.
Okay. Next up, we have Gorn Bin Doll, the one with the handlebar mustaches. And he sees that he's like, he points at Sebastian, says, "I saw your magic little hands trying to grab the flowers. I'll get you." And he storms towards you,
Oh no!
leaping into the air with his roundhouse kick.
Can you reach me?
Yes, he
Oh
can.
my!
Oh,
He's
no.
just like
He
he's
gets
running,
to-
and I'm just like
when he
looking, I'm
uses
like,
this move, he
ah.
gets to move his speed as part of his action as well.
Oh god!
So he leaps up into the air
What do I do?
and tries to kick you in the face. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Not gonna lie, he broke a tree.
But he won't break me. Yes, he will. That's a 4.
So as he leaps up, springs forward, and kicks you in the face, and you take 20 points of bludgeoning
Oh.
damage and are knocked prone.
Oh, I did not see that coming. Okay.
You did actually.
I know he came from a
He
mile
came
away,
running right
I like,
at you.
Didn't know which way to dodge. I'm like, do I go left? Do I go right? Do I? And then all of a sudden, there's a boot in my face,
A spiked boot.
a spiked boot.
Mm-hmm. And with that, we go to Sebastian.
I stand up.
and as before, this little gnome is just fuming, and you can almost see like the muscles and the blood vessels in his face and neck are bulging at the seams as he looks upon you with rage.
I stand up and there's like blood coming out of my nose and stuff. I'm like, you broke my nose, you little jerk! And then I web him to the ground.
Okay. So on his turn, he'll need to make a dexterity saving throw or be restrained.
Yeah.
Would you like to do anything else?
With him webbed, I guess if we haven't determined if he's webbed yet or not, or he is webbed, but he can break out on his turn. So if I back away,
I think I got the web template over here.
okay. Does he make it he'll make an opportunity attack both disadvantage, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll roll the save now. What does he need? He needs to save.
16.
He gets a 15.
Yeah, so
Okay,
he's webbed.
so he is webbed.
I back away. So
as he does, he attacks you with the sickle, and with disadvantage, he gets a 14.
can I cast shield as a reaction?
On your turn, yes,
No.
you can.
Or like even if I've cast another spell this turn?
Yes.
Okay, I cast shield.
Okay.
Nice.
The wild attack unexpectedly breaks away through some of the webs, and at the last moment, you raise your shield, and the brilliant light blocks it.
And then I I'm like, oh man, and like I bring up the shield just to block him, and then I kind of like
Yeah.
scurry back.
The webs are kind of pulling between the trees as well. Like they've come down from the sides to trap him. Yeah.
And then I crack my nose back into place and let out a little yelp while I do it.
Okay, we go to the top of the round with Veo.
So
And I've got the little scamp, right? Still?
Yeah, you've got him grabbed. Yeah.
So both are.
He can still fight though, because it's just a grapple, not a restraint.
Okay.
I am going to get up. That's half my movement, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I cast Zephyr Strike
Okay.
to start booking it away. I'm like, don't worry, guys, I got the lily.
Okay, if you are going through the water, that will be half
Oh, no.
speed. Yeah.
I won't. I'll go towards like the gate.
Okay.
Here. And I take a shot at.
I think we'll move you a bit closer because you did
Yeah.
lose half your speed
That's
on your
true.
turn, so you're about halfway. Yeah.
I take
There
a
we
shot at the guy in the webs.
Okay. You'll have advantage on the attack.
Oh, sweet. And this time I'm pulling out my longbow and using sharpshooter. Sweet. 24.
That is a hit.
Try not to destroy him too bad.
Where have you left the lily? You had it in your hands.
Oh, we'll take an action to put it in my bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you wanna take these shots, you're gonna have to drop it.
Then I'm gonna place it on the ground lightly. I'm gonna place it and then take some shots because, well, they're restrained, so I'm not worried about them grabbing me.
Oh. Here we go.
Oh, I haven't killed.
As you start shooting, I'm like, are we killing them?
23.
Yeah, because Veo, you talked me into.
I'm shooting his legs.
23
I'm shooting his
damage?
yeah.
Okay, you shoot him in the legs, and it hits him, and he goes, "Ah! I'll get you, pussycat!" And he is bloodied.
Okay, and
Oh,
then
no.
I get my
Maybe we do kill them. They are a
no,
little
we won't
feisty
kill
bunch.
them. We won't kill them. And then I get my second shot.
I don't know where our morals lie. We eat a fish person, but we're like hesitant to kill certain people. And,
And I'm gonna shoot the other one that's in Pluto's arms.
Okay.
Just regular shot.
Turn them
Yeah.
towards you.
19.
That's a hit.
Okay, and then 18 damage.
Oh gosh.
Okay. That is Rankle Boots.
In the legs. I'm just kind of crippling them for now.
He's not bloodied by that, though. But he is very angry.
right in the knee.
Okay.
They kind of had this coming though. They were very angry. They didn't even try to like diplomacy us.
No.
Okay.
We did steal their flowers though. I'm kind of I'm on the fence here.
Yeah. I just need to get them to settle down a little bit, which is why I
Yeah,
shot them in the
yeah.
legs.
Yeah, jeez.
I don't want them screaming after me anymore.
Next, Rankle Boots. As you're grabbing Rankle Boots, he's like, "Nah, let me at her! Let me at her! I gotta get her! I'll kill you!" And he turns around, and as you're grabbing him, he gets his sickle above his head, and he starts to bring it down on your helmet. He makes 3 attacks, getting a natural 1 and an 8 to hit, and a 14 to hit.
Okay. I keep wrestling.
Stop, He's just like smacking your helmet. And you're like, stop it.
Stop it. And it's like a bell ringer. Like, if you weren't wearing this helmet, your brains would be everywhere right now.
Oh man, he's a fighter.
Got a bit of ringing in your ears now.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's the ringing in your ears.
the helmet
Pluto, throw him in the web.
I am absolutely throwing him in the web. I just
Okay,
rip him off
Pluto.
my head and just toss him into the web.
Okay. We'll do that as an opposed strength check because you're basically trying to drag him. You're gonna have to drag him up that way and then push him in.
Okay.
So we'll do yeah.
10.
10. I got a 19. So you try to push him in, and he plants his boots in the ground, and the spikes stick him in. He's like, "No, no!"
Oh man. He's like, jeez, you're so feisty.
Would you like to do anything else?
Can I do 2 move with my actions, with my attacks? Can
You
I
need
do
to
2?
action surge. Or no, you can use each of your attacks as a grapple. So
Yeah.
if you want to try to push
I'm
him one
gonna
more
try
time.
One more time. One more time.
Oh, Pluto.
21.
I get a 16. So he resists, and then you push him, and he's pushed into the webs.
I think his feet catch, and then he tips over into the web.
Okay, and restrain.
And then I'm going to run past. I'm going to back up towards Veo.
Okay. Alrighty. So now we have Gorn Bin Doll, who is restrained in the webs, and he tries to break his way out, getting a natural 1. So he's- and he tries to fight his way out, but he cannot, to no avail. Okay. Sebastian, it's your turn.
Kill?
Oh,
I
try to woo them.
yeah, listen up, you little, you know what? Hey, listen, gnome people.
I'm gonna.
I don't want to be mean to them. I don't want to.
Do either of them seem to be in charge? They're both.
They're screaming about how they're going to disembowel you and use your intestinal blood to dye their hat.
Yeah, guys, I'm making a judgment call here. And I cast.
Maybe we just need to talk to them more.
No,
Use
as
your
I'm like,
charisma.
guys, maybe we spare them, and then one of them yells that, like, I will dip my hat in your intestines, and I'm like, never mind, and I firebolt the webbing,
It's like,
and
no,
like one
no.
of them in the webbing, I firebolt Gorn Bin Doll, the
Okay.
bloodied one,
Oh.
but I also light the webbing on fire in the
Poor
process.
guy's just probably having a bad day.
We did steal his plants. I wonder if the hag thing was like a
Oh wait, I need to.
like a warning sign thing. Like it was like a.
Oh my god, my dice. I rolled double ones.
Wow.
I've never seen that before, actually.
That was
That's a
amazing.
first.
That was
So
cool.
I shoot a firebolt.
You shoot the ground right in front of the webbing.
That was a warning shot. Don't mess with us any further, or I'll light you on fire.
A 1 attack roll can be a high intimidation roll.
Yes, I intimidate them with that failed attack roll.
Okay,
That's-
moving right along.
That's amazing.
As you fire the warning shot, Vale, give me a perception check.
Oh,
17.
The vines in the water, the reeds, are coalescing right behind you. What are you gonna do?
I want to pick up the lily and start to run away from them.
Okay. As you reach down to the water's edge to pick up the lily,
Mhm.
the woman reaches out through the water,
Ah!
and you can see her sunken eyes are glowing purple, and you can look into her disheveled face as she reaches for the lily at the same time. As she comes up out of the water, it's almost like this wooden skull appears, and her flesh kind of grows back onto her skin like bark over tree flesh, and her hair comes back in like vines, but revealing this almost sunken, rotting-like face. She reaches for the plant, sees that you're reaching for it, and I'm going to have you each make an opposed strength check to grab the plant.
10.
I get a 16. She snatches the plant out of your grasp. I'm going to say this costs you a reaction, just in case it's relevant. She snatches it up. So that's her right behind you. And she holds it close, cradling it almost like a child. And then she turns around, and as she does so, she begins to run towards the next pool of water, moving about 20 feet towards it.
Am I close enough for Sentinel to go off?
No, she's
Okay.
she's come out of the water on the
Okay.
other side of Vea.
Do I recognize her face?
It was really horrific, but for a moment she almost looked like she might have been one of the Queen Lenore's maids.
Do I know her name?
Give me a history check.
Ooh.
13.
Okay. I have it written down here.
Oh, if you could yell at her name. Oh, she might stop.
She might.
Drop it, Lily. Maybe it's Lily.
You
Go for Lily.
remember that her name was Gertrude.
Gertrude. Okay.
She would have been about 17 when you last saw her.
She probably gave me like snacks and stuff. Okay.
Moving right along to the top of the round. Veo, it
Okay.
is your turn.
So I turn around and I yell, Gertrude! And I start to. I essentially want to dash forward and like try to tackle her.
Okay.
Nice.
As you've called out her name, she seems stunned that she's been called by name. Give me a
Nice.
persuasion check first to see if you reach her.
Persuasion?
Yep.
14.
Okay. Calling out her name as if like she's shaken somehow, and you can see like she's got underneath her dress, her limbs are spindly, like she hasn't eaten properly.
Mm.
And as you dive in to tackle her to the ground,
Rugby
make a
tackle.
grapple check with advantage.
What do I do for that?
Roll you're rolling a strength check, or an athletics check. You can apply proficiency.
Either one is not the best. 14.
14. You tackle her to the ground.
Yeah.
She's still holding the lily as tightly as she can.
Okay.
And she starts saying, "No, no, no, no! Leave now! Leave! Go, 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 go!" Next up, is Rankle Boots. Rankle Boots rages, and he says, he says, "I'm going to drink your blood and then vomit it back up and use it to clean my underpants." Looking at you,
That's gonna clean them?
I'm really concerned.
And he tries to break out of the webbing but fails. Pluto, you're up.
Hold that thought. And I'm gonna run over to Veo and Gertrude and try to wrestle the lily out.
Okay. Make a strength check.
11.
I also get 11, so let's roll again.
Ooh. Am I strong? 17.
She's grabbing it. You put your hand on her head, push her to the ground, grab it out of your hands, and you now have the lily in your hands.
I hold it up. I did it, Sebastian. Run!
It's like football.
And as you take it out, she reaches for it, and she continues to try to reach it, and says, "No, the lady, she needs it. She needs them."
I'm torn, but your friends tried to kill me, and you're a weird lake person that has melty face, so you kind of lost me. You lost me at melty face. And I'm going to start going towards the gate.
Okay.
The rest of my movement.
Next up is Gorn Bin Doll.
Oh, I'm
Tries
left alone
to
over
break
here.
his way out, but he doesn't break out of the
Oh, good.
webbing.
Come, Sebastian.
Sebastian, it's your turn.
All right, guys, I'll clean up this mess. And I'm going to cast Scorching Ray. Come on, dice. Don't fail me now. I'm casting it on, is it Gorn Bin Doll who's bloody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. 17.
That hits.
Let's do my
Wait,
second.
that firebolt that you shot that was double one, that was with advantage.
Yep.
That's the saddest advantage ever.
Second one.
Let's relive it.
Oh, my dice are just on fire.
Oh my god.
15.
Yep, that hits.
I thought it was 1 and
Third
2
one.
for something.
Yeah, it does.
Oh man,
Oh man.
17. I mean,
All 3 hit.
they're not bad, but I didn't roll anything higher than a 10 there.
That's great.
Cool. So, the first one does 6 damage.
Okay.
Second one,
There you go.
10. How's he looking?
He's dead in the second shot. You can redirect the third one to the other.
All right, and the webs are obviously on fire now.
Yeah.
And the other guy takes
Ooh.
10 damage.
There you go. There's some damage.
So Gorn Bin Doll, the scorching rays, what happens?
So, I pull out my finger guns.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'll clean up this mess, guys. And I go laser beams, and I go psh, psh, and shoot him twice, and he just like bursts into ash, and then the flames start to catch on fire.
The third shot goes through his head and hits the other
Yeah.
one as he's disintegrating.
Poor guy seeing his throat die.
And then the webs are consumed in flame and begin to burn away at Rankle Boots.
And then I walk towards my friends, but in slow motion with the flames behind me.
Oh, Sebastian, you look so cool right now.
Yeah, I put the goggles on in slow motion
Mhm.
and start walking. And there's music in my head that I'm making up right now.
Okay.
How does it go?
The
Cool guys.
next up is will actually be Gertrude, and Gertrude looks in your eyes, and the glow of her eyes stops for a moment, and the color begins to set back into her face, and she puts her hand on your shoulder and says, "Veo, you need to help me. I need that flower. I need to bring it back to the lady. Please, please, help me get it back." Make a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
9.
Okay. You're not under her control, but she's your friend. You should listen to her. You should help her out with what she's asking to do. It sounds really important. You remember her, all these memories of her giving you scraps of food in the castle kitchens and slipping you some of the queen's cakes come back to your memory. And you remember the way that she used to be, and you see her for that in this moment. It's your turn. What are you going to do?
I'm going to get off her
Mm-hmm.
and help her kind of like, so she's not lying down.
Okay.
And I say, "Are you talking about the queen? Is that the lady you're referring to?"
Veo, what are you doing?
She brings her finger to her lips and says, "It is very important. It's very important. We must bring it back for the lady."
I shake her again. I say, "But who's the lady? Is it the queen?"
You mustn't ask these questions, Veo. If you want another snack, you're going to have to behave.
Well, I do love snacks.
I'm freaking out. Veo, no!
Where's the lady?
I'll take you there if you get me back that flower.
No can do. But you tell me where the lady is.
Okay. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
21.
As you the words "no can do" come to you, you shake out of whatever was beginning to influence you, and you see her again for this monstrous creature that she's become.
I scratch her in the face.
That's the veil we know.
So I take let's see, 15.
That hits.
1 damage.
She shrieks again, just as before, and her face takes on a dour expression. Says, "No, give it back. The lady will find you. She'll know. She'll know."
I scratch her again with my second attack.
Okay.
I'm just like,
Cat fight.
yeah. And then, 20.
It hits.
4.
Big damage,
Such
big damage,
tiny
big damage.
Oh, 1 damage.
Okay. Next up is Paluto.
Veo, what are you doing? You're scratching the come on. And I'm going to run over and I'm just going to start wailing on the actually I'm going to put the lily down. No.
Don't put the lily.
No, I'm holding it and I'm just going to Veo, hurry up. We got to go. Are you having a reunion? What's
Yes.
happening? How big is the lily? It's big, right?
It's a huge flower, and it's really beautiful. Like, and she's pulled it up by the roots. The flower itself is almost like holding a very delicate bowl in both your hands, and it has all these delicate petals, and then the inside, the little antennae coming up from the middle, almost look like little bits of delirium crystals inside it.
Like I picture I have my shield out, but I don't have a weapon.
Yeah,
And
you can
I'm
hold it
kinda-
in one hand.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
It's not particularly heavy. It's just delicate.
Okay, I don't want to break it. I mean, the gnomes are dead. I'm just gonna stand guard and look around and just keep coaxing Veo to leave the weird face melty lady and come with us. That's my turn.
Okay, Sebastian. Well, I guess we do have
Rankle Boots is still...
Rankle Boots, who burns to death in the webs.
There it is.
And screaming. Yeah.
That a boy. Oh, I kind of want his boots now.
Okay, so I say to as well as Pluto, I'm just looking at Veo. I'm like, what are you doing right now? And I'm gonna ask you, Pluto. Do you want me to take the lily off your hands?
Sure.
And
I'm gonna
is
hand
my
you the-
mage hand still floating around?
Yeah.
I move it over and to like take the lily.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna let the mage hand float there with the lily. Just kind of I actually float it up a little bit so that
Okay.
it's out of anybody's reach. And I just have it floating there. And I'm gonna move towards my friends to kind of survey what's going on with this lady.
Okay. Alrighty. With that, we will step out of initiative order, and we will see what happens from here. She as it comes back to her, she stands to her feet and she looks back up at you all and says, "Please, don't take it. She needs them. She needs them."
We're gonna need a lot more information if you want this lily back.
I can take you there. It's at the Queen's Grotto.
Are there any more of those guys? And I point to the 2 piles of ash behind me.
Not near, no.
What were they?
They were the groundskeepers.
Were they mad at you too?
No, they were protecting us. We're just here to gather the lilies. We've been taking them when the lady asks us to bring them whenever they bloom. She has a great collection of them in her grotto.
So if she has a collection, then why does she need more?
Oh, she asks for them. She loves them so.
Oh wait,
Guys.
we need more than
She's gonna
one,
tell me
don't
Yeah,
who
we?
we
the-
might need more than one.
Want to tell me who this lady is? One more time.
She's just my lady. I don't. And she kind of discombobulates, like she's
Hmm.
never been asked that question before. And she says, I don't remember.
Do you mean us harm?
She looks at you with this strange look on her face, and she twists her head and doesn't answer.
I feel like that was a simple enough question. Come on, lady.
I don't think that this is Gertrude anymore.
But she's not outright attacking us.
She really wants the lily. Maybe we can convince her to show us where the other lilies are.
I mean, we've got this lily. It's floating above us right now. We might be able to follow her.
She says, "Please, give it back. Let me bring it to the lady." And as she looks at you, looks in your face and she implores you, saying, "Please, please bring it back." And the color kind of comes back into her face.
Oh no,
again.
she's doing.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
She doesn't mean us any harm. Here, one dice. Nine.
In this moment, her horrific appearance, Sebastian, it seems to fade away, and you can see the young woman as she might have been in years ago. Almost like her clothes come back into place, her appearance smooths over, her features are rather fine, and the raspiness that was in her voice fades away, and she says, "Please, you need to bring it back for the lady. She needs it so much. You can help me, right? You'll help me. I need help." You failed the save.
Yeah. So I'm compelled to do as she asks.
Mm-hmm.
My name's Sebastian Crow, and I'm here to help you. And I start floating the Eldritch Lily towards her.
And I grab you, and I put my crossbow to your face, and I'm like, "Come on."
Whoa.
So what do we see? What do we see as outside observers? How do we see
Her appearance hasn't changed to you.
No, and but is she talking to?
We're not addressing this.
Yeah, like she
Just like-
fixated her gaze
Like,
on Sebastian as she said that, like she was imploring him for help, and he was just listening on to her every word with
You know
rapt
what?
attention.
wait, hold on. Does my friend grabbing me and pointing a crossbow in my face do anything? Or
Yeah. How do you respond?
am I still compelled by her?
Yes.
I pull out my finger guns.
Okay, during their standoff, I pull out my javelin and I stab Gertrude. Stop it, evil hag lady! And I'm just gonna stab her right in the chest.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
You're turning my friends against us. 19.
19. It hits.
You like see my fingers start to. Well, it's like burning. And there's some smoke coming out of it, and I'm just like
12 damage.
You really want to play
Okay,
chicken with me?
She's bloody. She screeches, and as she does so, her flesh and hair begin to pull away again, revealing the bark, the tree flesh-like skeleton underneath, and she recedes back into the ground and disappears.
Do I snap out of it?
You do, yes.
I put my hand
I
down.
turn
I'm like,
around.
oh my! And I fall over and start to backwards crawl away from you. Like what?
I'm not even phased by this. I'm like, good. Then I put my crossbow away.
Can we all agree to trust each other and not the weird lake person?
I
Because I thought we were a
I'm
team.
sorry. I just had a moment. I had a moment.
I don't remember trusting her, but then
She's not part of Sebastian, the Three Crows, or the Jackson Three, or Veo and the Pussycats. She's just a weird lake person that came out.
or the Ghostly Three,
Or the Ghostly Three.
or
Nautical tots distributing swords is hardly a.
So my experience from before is that when people are like that, you just kind of slap them around. So
I don't
arrow
know.
to the foot would have worked. Or
I
something
don't know
like
why
that.
I listened to her. She
You
just
shooting everyone in the leg.
it sounded so reasonable.
Hey, it's not death. It's not a death shot.
Okay, well, here's the question. There's a lady somewhere in this park that has a whole bunch of eldritch lilies.
And a stab wound from a javelin.
Well, no.
Oh, no. Oh,
She,
you're talking
Wrong
she
about
was-
lady.
Yeah,
Okay,
she was
sorry.
going to bring us to the lady. Do we run with this one eldritch lily? But River said we needed a few samples.
Well, let's go look for some more.
Well,
mean, it
it's
can't be
whatever
that hard.
Oscar needs to make it. So if he needs a few samples, then
Yeah, because we need some potions to test.
if we have to make it back here to get more lilies after we go to Oscar, it's going to be more time. Like,
So
we
we
can-
need more lilies.
we
Do
need more
we
lilies.
A, go looking for more, B, wait for her to come back, give her the lily, and follow her to the...
I
if she's
kind
going
of
to sink in the
abundance.
water, how can we follow her?
She said she'll take us to the lady where the eldritch lilies are.
Yeah, we don't have to give it to her though first.
Maybe we can work out a deal.
Yeah.
Although nobody look at her eyes.
We might need to gloss over the me stabbing her thing. That might come up when she
Listen,
comes back.
I slapped her in the face with my claws. I'm pretty sure
She's
she
pretty
doesn't
over it.
mind.
She's
I haven't
over
done
it.
anything. I can talk to her. Wait, no, that didn't go well last time.
Why don't we
She's
go?
too friendly.
Let's search the immediate area for other lilies, because if they're blooming,
Because she said they were in the grotto, the Queen's grotto.
yeah, and she's given us a little bit of maybe we can go. My other concern is that she might have gone and told either her handler or the queen, the person that she's taking these to,
Yeah.
the lady, that there's trespassers. They might be missing 2 gnomes. We might be under super surveillance.
So we
right now.
sneak around again.
Maybe we gotta sneak.
Yeah. I'll do it.
Clunk.
Pass without trace. Well,
Is it still active? How long have we been? How long does
It's
pass?
no longer active because
Yeah.
Veo has since cast another
cast
spell.
other
Yeah.
spells, so.
What
Normally
would you
lasts
like
for an
to?
hour.
Where would you like to head to next then?
I say the Queen's grotto.
Before we delve into the ruins again, a big thank you to Axe and Shield for providing us with the awesome gaming accessories we use. If you've seen our initiative tracker that spins, it's great. And I know that we've had some audio issues with the music, but when you do hear music, it's from Tabletop Audio. They offer great free ambient music on their website. And finally, 100 Years Bore for the amazing narration in our introduction video. So if you like that, you can check out 100 Years Bore. He has his own YouTube channel. If you're enjoying the stream and want to help support our work, check out our Patreon. You can find it by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
Thanks, Kelly. And thank you for joining us again. Before the break, our heroes, Veo, Peludo, and Sebastian, had ventured into Queen's Park Garden. Following the trail of a strange woman in the forests of the garden, you encountered her again trying to harvest an eldritch lily. Yet when you went to pick up one of these lilies, you were assaulted by a pair of vicious gnomes who accosted you for trying to pick the flowers. And the woman, Gertrude, who Veo recognized as one of the maids from the castle staff, tried to charm you all into helping her bring the lily to a woman that she referred to as the lady. But her guile did not persuade Pluto, who stabbed her, causing her to flee.
I saw right through her,
And
then I put a hole.
now
right through
you
her.
stand in the middle of Queen's Park Garden, an eldritch lily in hand, deciding on your next move. Will you abandon your quest here and head back with your one spoil, or are you going to go for even more and try to find more lilies or explore, find out who these people are? What are you going to do next?
One thing I need to do is I need to take care of my face. It's
Broken.
taken a very heavy boot to it, and it has almost killed me. I could use a little nap.
You want to rest? We can use rope trick and then kind of climb up in that interdimensional space and take a rest for an hour.
I mean, resting in an interdimensional space sounds top notch.
We should
How did Veo learn to do this?
Is just something I picked up along my travels as a gloom stalker, especially since being in the shadows is my specialty.
Yeah.
Needed to be able to get out of situations in Drakkenheim.
Just
so
one day you were like, I'm going to climb this rope. Oh, where am I?
yes.
What
I
if you
felt
learned it from an old like a magician that used to travel around Drakkenheim? And you remember a cool trick they did or something?
I think it was more from observing people along the ways, like
Ooh.
seeing different magics as people came into the city. I didn't necessarily go up to someone and say, teach me this, but I had to really observe. That's why it took me a little bit of a time to get the hang of it.
So you produce a rope, you cast the spell, and you climb the rope, slipping between the shadows of space itself into this little shadowy pocket nowhere, where for some reason the floor is solid, almost solid shadow, and you can all climb the rope and take your rest up here.
Before I go up, I want to see if I can steal the boots off of one of the gnomes.
You definitely can.
And are they can I put them on?
These boots are you take the boots off the dead gnomes, and they have tiny little feet underneath.
Oh, this is
How they were keeping these their charred bodies, kind of like the lower part of their leg kind of breaks off as you pull the boots off. But yeah, and these boots, like an ogre could wear these boots. They were so large.
Oh, wow. Can I put them over top of my current boots?
If you would like to, yes.
Do I find any hindrance with said boots?
They are very uncomfortable, but if you had some extra boot straps, you might be able to wear them comfortably.
I'm going to spend the hour in the pocket dimension trying to make these boots work.
Okay. You managed to. They're heavy boots. No more louder than they can be louder if you want them to be. When you really want to stop around, they can really make a lot of noise.
I really want to try stepping on something. I want to try the roundhouse kick.
Okay.
With the big spike boots.
Nice.
I crawl into this little pocket dimension and I look around at how shadowy it is, and I'm like, I oddly feel like at home here. And I just curl up on the floor and like start tending to my face, realigning my bones, and maybe casting some magic to make myself pretty again, cleaning myself up a bit.
Okay. So y'all take a short rest,
Pulling out
spend
some
your hit
food.
dice, and do your thing.
I used 4 of my 5 hit dice and I'm now back up to full health.
That really hurt.
Yeah, that kick to the face took.
They went right
Boot
after
to the
you
head.
guys.
Yeah,
I didn't even take anything. I didn't use any resources.
I'm down a few spells too.
That's why I get to spend the whole hour. I'm just trying
Working
to
on
figure out how these
boots.
boots.
Yeah, normally you're the one that gets beat up, Paluda, but it was these two this time.
It's just refreshing.
Yeah.
And then you guys all started fighting each other.
I
Really
didn't-
turned on each other.
That was my bad. But it felt it was necessary at the time.
Yeah, it was like you had to escalate.
At the end of the hour, you climb out of the pocket dimension and the rope drops to the ground. Feel refreshed, and you have passed it in relative safety. What will you do now?
So, are we going to wait for the lady to come back? Should I put the lily? So, by the way, I guess my mage hand only lasts a minute, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm carrying the lily now.
Mhm.
Should I put it in my bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You want to put it in your bag?
I'll like wrap it.
Yeah.
In a very
In
tender cloth. and
some cloth, yeah.
place it in my bag.
Take good care of it.
I mean, I try to stay near the back behind Pluto next time. But are we going to follow? Are we going to try to reason with her and be like, we will give you the lily and we will come with you to the lady? Or are we going to go try to find the lady on our own?
Let's go find the lady.
Well, yeah, because we could find the lady, find her hoard of lilies, and take a bunch. We could also just go find other lilies to harvest.
True.
Those are other options.
Also, like, based on how things are going, I'm now giving it a 70% chance that the lady is going to try to kill us. And
Like the main lady, not the lady.
yeah,
that we
like
stabbed.
like instead of the 50-50, I'm now leaning towards it's a 70% chance that everything in this place is evil. So I mean, if we
based
kill,
on all 3 of the things we've met here trying to murder us.
well, the lady didn't try to the woman with the face didn't try to murder us. She just tried to persuade us to give her the lily.
Okay, that's
So
fair.
she's not entirely evil. She's just doing her mission.
Okay.
But yeah, let's go try to find
Yeah.
where these lilies are.
Well, and I know where the grotto is, correct?
Yes, you could if you want to go to Lenore's grotto.
Yeah.
That's where you could leave them there. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you guys want to do search for more lilies or just go to the grotto?
We've already been told that she's got a collection there. Make our
Okay.
job easier. And if anything, like,
yeah.
I mean, I now realize the reason that I know lilies is because that was Lenore's, like, crest symbol was a lily. So, should have been that we just went there in the beginning, but my bad. We'll go there now and get some lilies.
Do you tell us this?
Yeah.
My bad.
It's like, my bad.
Good.
I should be a better guide in the future.
Yeah, you're supposed to be our
I'll try my
trusty
best.
guy.
We can talk it out next time if that helps. If you want to just, think out loud.
Sometimes we're too quick to action and not enough thinking. All right, let's go ahead.
I'll follow.
Okay.
I'll take up the rear.
You proceed across the Boulevard of the Queens to the northwestern section of Queen's Park Garden. Here are where, as is tradition, the kings of Drakkenheim have built a grotto in dedication to the queens. And you walk through the pathways until you find the spot where Lenore's grotto was built. You recognize it because there is, laid out in front of it, there is a statue of the royal family of Drakkenheim. And in it, the way the statue is built is it's a large pedestal, and at the base of the pedestal, it kind of built into the pedestal itself is the image of King Ulrich von Kessel, the last king of Drakkenheim. And he's actually not standing on the pedestal. He's reaching his hands up, almost presenting the statue of Queen Lenore. Ulrich is wearing, he's a very portly man with a big curly beard and a balding head. Although the statue clearly flatters him, as it looks more like he's got like a barreled chest rather than the paunch that you remember. And the statue is wearing elegant jewelry with rings on every single finger, and the beard and bushy eyebrows and the crown of Drakkenheim, which is just a circlet that he's wearing right now. And as he points up, the statue at the pedestal, the base of the grotto, is of the waif-like Queen Lenore, who has in one hand, cradled in her arms, their son, and holding her hand, their daughter. And this familial like statue is almost like the king of Drakkenheim giving a ode to his family of thanks, as is the tradition of these grottos. Every single one of the grotto has the other grottos in Drakkenheim has a statue like this, where the king was presenting their family almost to the people. And years ago, when this would have been built, there would have been a great celebration when this grotto was shared with the people. The grotto itself is a tiered garden, and it looks like several large pools and gardens all laid out, and then a second tier which stairs rise up to. But in the center of the grotto, you can see, looking past the statue, because the statue is directly in front of it, are these double doors that lead into the grotto caves underneath. The outside area has there's these two tiers with sets of stairs that lead from one tier to the next, and there's kind of a cobblestone walkway around each set of pools and gardens, which in their heyday would have been filled with water lilies. There are many numerous statues of angels and archways looking down upon the garden, and in the center above the archway is another grand statue of Queen Lenore holding a lily in her hands. But as you look up at the statue that is over the doorway, the face of Queen Lenore has been carved away, and someone has carved the face off. And you can actually see that the statue here of Lenore too, her face has been carved off.
Blasphemous.
And there's a few other statues in this garden that are also of Lenore, and all of them have the face carved right
And
off.
only when it's Queen Lenore?
Yeah.
So none of the other, like the
All
king,
the other so many of the other statues here are damaged,
but not specifically like that.
Does anybody else find this unsettling?
Somebody's got a vengeance against the queen.
Maybe she doesn't have a face anymore, and they're just trying to update the statues.
That's even creepier.
Just I don't know. Maybe
What,
they're
you
just
think-
trying to be more
You
accurate.
think there's some sort of faceless monster queen here? Oh, now you've put that thought in my head. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. We're about to. Oh, she's right behind you.
I am.
Oh, she's not.
I'm walking by any
Good joke.
statue of Lenore and just like putting my hand on it. Like I'm a bit mournful about it because I remember this place being so beautiful.
Did you know her?
I knew her. Yeah.
Oh. Cool.
I have
Yes, yeah.
much respect for the royal family. They're the ones that would, led Drakkenheim to be very prosperous in its time. Until that terrible day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially their children. And I point over to it as well.
You were such a mangy cat as a kid. I just always forget that you were from the castle.
I get the, prince and princess into some trouble sometimes. That's probably why they chased me away and let me hang out with them too much, but we always found a way to hang out.
As you come up to one of the statues, scrawled underneath it, beside this another statue of King Ulrich, written over the inscription, "Rent into the stone." In other words, "Forgive me."
Oh man.
Like an inscription that was made when the statue was made, or like more recent?
This looks like someone carved it with like a chisel
Oh.
over the statue.
Do I recognize the writing?
It's chiseled. It's roughly chiseled
Just
in,
rough?
like someone drew it in like graffiti.
That
Do you guys
doesn't-
want to tag it? I have my mason's tools.
No!
We can tag some of these statues too.
Only to cross it out, if that's what you're implying.
I was
like, chisel
implying
a
to
new
put Pluto
face?
Jackson was here, but we can also do that.
You want to chisel like a new face on some of these statues?
No. Leave these
I can-
statues.
I'm
They'll
gonna
be
test my abilities.
one day they'll be restored.
Do we see any lilies?
Well, as you come into the lower tier, you can see that this garden has been completely overgrown, but the water beds are filled with all manner of exotic plants that are not local. They have overgrown, and you vaguely recall that this garden had non-local plants in it,
Mhm.
but many of them are lilies of various different species, and many multicolored, hues. There are many of them are white. Some of them are a strange lime green color. Some of them are blue or even red and pink. But noticeably, none of them are purple, and they're all lilies of a regular size.
Nothing magical looking about them.
Not that you have the ability to discern anything sort of magical, aside from the fact that they've become overgrown.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These are not what our magic friend was looking for. Oscar.
None of them, eh?
No.
Not one.
They don't look anything like the Eldritch Lily we picked.
Does that mean we
Noted.
got to go into the grotto?
I say we venture forth cautiously.
But optimistically.
Cautiously but optimistically. I'm unhappy with what's happened here, and I need to find out who smashed all these faces.
Okay. So you proceed up into the garden proper, past the pools, and regarding the plants towards the doors of the grotto. Is that what you plan to do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which way?
To the front doors of the
Yeah.
cave entrance, or like the underground tunnels.
Yeah. I would say let's take an outside route just to make sure.
Oh, like as we approach it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. You move along forward, and as you do so, who's taking point again?
I can take point.
Yeah, Veo. You go first.
Let's do, and I'll stay in the middle.
I'm a bit more
I'll
determined.
Be right
now.
behind you.
Okay.
And I have my javelin out.
Back in formation.
Back in formation. Protect me.
Veo, as you come forward with the rest of the group, you can see that in one of the center gardens is a very large yellow lily. It almost looks sickly and huge, and it smells like it's carrying this pollen on the air. As you all step forward, you kind of catch a whiff of this smell to it. And I actually need you to all make a wisdom saving throw.
12.
3.
7.
The two, Veo, you catch the smell, and Pluto and Sebastian, you can see that they've smelt it. And they begin
We didn't dump
walking towards the flower in the garden. And the two of you, it's like, for a moment, you see this lily. It's like, that must be another eldritch lily. You've got to get it.
I have to get that lily.
I'll help you.
No!
Come on, let's go.
I'll do it. We'll do it both together at the same time.
Yeah.
No! Taking my crossbow.
Okay.
Try and shoot my boots. My boots are strong.
And with that, we will roll for initiative.
Oh, no. Is it Veho versus us?
Veo versus us
I would
and the
probably
flower.
kill you.
Anything above a 10. Let's go. Ooh,
There you go.
there we go.
19.
I want to get that.
Cool. Let's bring up the shot. There we go. Cool. So, what do we got?
I got a 19.
Got a 19 for Veo.
I got a 22.
22. What's that? Where did that come from?
Yeah,
He's-
out of
he's
nowhere,
back.
my dice was like, I'll give you 1. But now for this whole battle, we'll see what happens.
I got a 7. It wasn't great. I didn't feel great.
Too busy admiring your big boots.
And the flower.
Oh, right, and the
I
flower.
have a focus. I have a focus. It's the flower.
I'm going so high on the initiative because I was too excited to grab this flower.
Woo!
Ooh, flower! Don't worry.
Literally, Veo goes, "That's not an eldritch lily," and then we're both like, "Look, an eldritch lily!" We just start running at it.
I'm just like
Okay, Veo,
weak
you can
minds.
give me a perception check.
20.
Okay, Veo. As our little encounter begins, you can see in the pool where Sebastian and Pluto are moving towards, there are several corpses, bloated, fungus-covered corpses, which begin to rise up out of the water.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Are they undead?
They look like they must once have been humans, but bits of lilies are growing out of their flesh. And it has given them this hulking form. As you go to the top of the round, Sebastian, you have been compelled forward. You may do nothing on your turn, save move as close as you can to the lily.
I turn to Pluto and I'm like, I bet I can get it before you do. And I shove Veo out of the way and jump into the water and start wading over towards the lily. And I'm singing a little song that's like, gonna get the lily.
Okay.
Wanna get that
You
lily.
rush towards the water. You may move yourself as close as you can to the creature.
This is difficult.
Yes, it is. Okay, so you leap into the water with a sploosh of water, all the algae and the plants coming up around you, as you are drawn closer and closer to this golden shining lily.
And I turn to Veo and I say, don't worry, Veo. What's the worst that could happen? And then I reach out for the lily.
Death! And I yell, death!
Okay, Veo, it's your turn.
I first cast Zephyr Strike on my move and use my feline agility to start moving around. So I think I have 90 feet of movement.
7,000 feet of
I have
movement.
a lot of movement. So I want to get like as far around the pool as I can. And I start taking shots at the lily with my longbow.
You said you had 90?
I think 90, yeah.
So that's
30 times 2 plus 30.
and each square is 5 feet.
Yes.
So
Actually, I think I
you can move 18 squares.
plus. I can. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Yeah, 18 little boxes.
All right.
Jeez.
And I take my first shot against the lily.
Okay.
I want to just destroy it as fast as I can. With my longbow. And that's a.
Oh, you're shooting the lily. Smart.
10.
The arrow hits the lily, and there is a screeching and a suckling noise that comes from the plant as it begins to move. Vines coming up around it as whatever this lily has become, it is an animate creature.
Perfect. So I hit it?
Yes, you did.
Yes. All right.
Uh-oh.
I'm still reaching.
I'll get you, Lily.
I'll get you. Trying to get away,
We finally
are ya?
found Lily. Ooh, get back here.
So on my first attack, I do 21 damage to it.
Ooh.
And then on my second
Yes.
roll, I take my advantage with my Zephyr Strike. And I get 12.
That hits.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
And I also get my D8 with my Zephyr Strike as well. And that
Oh.
does
Oh.
26 damage.
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
That's-
The
I say-
damage.
It's time for you to get cut down.
That's why you're the bodyguard. That's why you're our
Veo, anything
bodyguard.
else?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. Next up is the yellow lily. The yellow lily lurches towards Sebastian.
Yes, come on.
Closing the gap.
Okay.
I can touch it.
And and as it does so, it appears to be knitting itself back together, growing back in place. And Sebastian, I get a 21 to hit you.
I just totally accept that. I'm going in for a hug with the lily.
And it hugs you back, and as its branch lies on you, it lashes out at you psionically, and you take 15 points of psychic damage.
Do I love it? Am I still wooed by it?
You can make one saving throw with advantage.
Wisdom?
Yeah.
$13.
You snap out of it. As it racks your mind, you snap out of it and realize this is not a nice creature. This is a horrible, evil plant monster.
This isn't an eldritch lily at all. Ow! It burns.
Paluto, though, you have not clued in. and
I'm
you-
pretty sure it's a lily, and I run up to it.
Okay, you run up to. As you do so, the horrible drudge behind you swipes you in the back, getting a 22 to hit your AC.
It hits.
And you're gonna take 6 points of slashing damage as the thick thorns in it kind of coalesce almost into a blade.
Can I hit it back?
You are, because of the effect of the charm effect, you're kind of just.
Stop it!
Yeah.
You're getting in the way. Go move.
So
Move,
Paluto-
Sebastian.
That said, you can make a saving throw to try to snap out of it. Another wisdom save.
3.
You are still compelled by the yellow.
Oh, do I get
by
advantage?
the yellow lily? You do not. You got
Oh.
advantage because you are a half elf and you have advantage on your saving throws against it.
Oh.
Ooh.
It wasn't the lily that attacked me. The lily loves me. I love the lily. I'm coming to the lily. Hi, Lily.
Wonderful. The drudges. The drudges. They come out of the water, but this one. And as it comes to the edge of the water, the vines reach up and it pulls itself up to swipe at you,
Uh-oh.
Veo. As they animated as they are by the desperation of their plant that's compelling them, they rush forward. You can actually see now that smaller yellow lilies are starting to grow out of it. And it swipes at you, Veo, getting a critical hit and a 13.
13 does not hit.
Pulls itself up, slashes down with a wicked blow, and you take 12 points of slashing damage. The first one that's behind Paluto slashes at him, bringing its viney arms raking across your back, and it gets a 8 and a 23 to hit.
23 is a solid hit.
Okay. With that, the 23, that's 6 more points of slashing damage, but you can make a saving throw to snap out.
I will try, but can I? 9.
You do not.
Ooh. It's not the lily. The lily loves
That
me.
one spends all its movement.
I love the lily.
And this one comes up behind Sebastian, getting a 12 and a 9 to hit. Or sorry, an 11 and an 8 to hit.
I duck. I go under the
Yeah.
water.
It comes up to try to hug you in a grab, and you duck down into the water. Awesome. We go to the top of the round with Sebastian.
Having just snapped out of it just in time to see that thing lunge at me, and I dive into the water, come back up, look around, see everything that's going on, and I'm like, we need to get out of here. And I put my hand on Pluto, who I see reaching for the lily, and I'm like, nope, and I thunderstep.
Nice. So the air kind of pulls itself in, and there's this moment of sound kind of stopping, and the two of you disappear, and then it goes throng out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this loud, thunderous boom.
Oh.
What do you say?
So, I knock a statue over. As I grab him, I go, now you see me,
They all have to make
And then I
con
appear.
saves, correct?
and yell, now you don't.
The plant fails, and both the zombies fail.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
It's my first time casting
Thank
this
you,
spell.
Sebastian. But now I'm further away from the lily, so this is frustrating. Now I have to walk all the way back to the lily.
I mean, you'll thank me later.
Will I? I was
Maybe.
almost at the lily.
19 damage.
Nice. Kablamo!
Yeah, kablamo. That should be what I yell.
That was great.
That's a good one. Kablamo.
I actually thought I was like, I'm so dead. I'm just gonna keep getting hit by dredges until I
Both the drudges
passive
and
wisdom save.
and the yellow lily are bloodied. And where did you appear?
Up here.
Nice. Vale, you're up next.
All right. Because of Zephyr Strike, I don't get opportunity attacks, so I'm gonna rush through. Oh, sorry.
No, my beautiful statues.
I'm gonna run
They're showing their age. That's all.
here,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take a shot at these dredges. So
That was
my
solid.
first longbow attack. Ooh.
Ooh.
22.
That hits.
Yeah. $22 damage.
It's bloodied.
Oh my God.
Take a second shot at that same one because I'm hoping to essentially shoot its head off.
Okay.
12.
That hits.
Yes. 20 damage.
So as it turns to lunge toward you, you take 2 arrows, shooting it in the chest, and it collapses back into a tangle of vines and is destroyed.
Nice.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Okay. Paluto, you're up. You still want to walk towards that plant?
Oh, it's still there?
Yes.
Come on, Sebastian. I'm trying to get to the plant. I walk to the plant.
Okay. You can make a wisdom saving throw to not throw yourself off the terrace to get towards it.
Am I able to use a reaction to try to hold him?
He's much stronger than you, so you're gonna have to make an opposed strength check if you do want to use your reaction.
I mean,
that
I
way.
might as well try.
Let's try. Let's do it.
Okay.
First, make your wisdom save.
3.
Oh, God.
Okay. So he goes to leap over the terrace. Just gotta go hop, and
As he
Sebastian
goes
tries to
leap,
grab you.
I try to grab you. Get a 1.
Get a 7.
He elbows you in your broken nose.
Oh!
Bye.
And Pluto, you leap off.
Re-breaks
Woohoo!
it.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Watch, I just crush this. Oh yeah, 13.
13. Okay, so you land fine and continue walking.
With my big old boots.
Yeah,
and
with
I
your big
just-
old boots. Chunk! And continue walking towards.
Get me as close.
Yeah.
Is that how far I can go?
No, I think you're there.
Yeah.
Come here, you big old lily.
After you elbow me in the face, I'm just like, fine, you big idiot.
And you can
go
make one
ahead.
last save to try to snap out of this.
These are going so well.
What dice do I want to do? The one that hasn't rolled me anything higher than a 2.
Yeah, that one. There's a 4.
Just love this flower.
I really love eldritch lilies, especially yellow ones that don't. I want this flower in my life, and no one's gonna stop me. I'm reclaiming it for Caspia.
Okay.
Someone else's turn. While I look over my dice and decide which one gets thrown into an incinerator.
We're all having. I
gosh.
mean, you're doing okay.
I'm doing okay.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
just
doing
like,
fine.
why are you guys going after
Okay.
this lily?
The drudges with this.
Oh no! Oh no!
Hi. Hello.
The 3 drudges all swarm Pluto.
Now I feel more comfortable.
And all of them begin reaching out, like latching, like they're going to try to drag him towards the plant, slashing into your flesh deeply as they try to. The first one does get a 23 with a hit,
Oh,
but
yeah.
its other is a 15. I get a 15 and a 9, and an 18 and a 14.
Only the 20.
So in 6 attacks, I only hit once.
Yes.
So even though you're compelled by this thing, you're just like, get out of my way.
No, I'm so voraciously trying to get to the lily that even them trying to pull me to the
Yeah.
lily doesn't help.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no.
You are fighting.
You still take 6 points of slashing damage as the creatures begin to surround you, trying to almost drag you towards, slashing at you as they do so.
Do I get one more? Do I-
So nervous for you
Please guide this dice into a 10 or higher. 4. That dice, these dice I rolled. I really want that lily.
You really want
I'm
that
gonna get me
lily?
that
Oh,
lily.
nice.
I come hell or high pond water.
I'm
coming. Give me that lily. Give me
Yeah.
that lily.
We go to the top of the round with Sebastian. Sebastian, you tried to pull him away, and look what he's done. He's gone right back.
Guys, I'm just distracting them.
Okay, so Sebastian just looks out at the scene and is like, "Oh, damn it, Pluto!" And I'm gonna like run and jump and try to grab Pluto and thunderstep again. I just like run. I'm like, "Get back here!" And I jump.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
That's
I'm
your favorite.
So good at
Because
that.
you're that's a pretty hefty jump you're trying to make there, buddy.
though? You can do it.
16.
Okay, you leap forward, touch him on the shoulder, and once again,
Yeah, all the
Blong.
sound just goes, and then, and I teleport back up
no.
next to
I
Veo.
scream
I think
no.
that catches all of them in it, including the.
No, my lily.
2 of the drudges make their saves, but the lily and one of the wounded ones doesn't.
Kill the lily.
Oh yeah,
That's
baby.
10, 18, 21.
Very nice.
Okay, there is a burst of energy, and the 2 bloody drudges are actually destroyed by this regardless, even though the one's made a save, and the lily is as well. The blast of sonic energy just sending it into dust and smithereens, and as the lily itself collapses, the last drudge kind of starts to go into shock and collapses to the ground as well.
I collapse to the ground onto my knees and I scream out to them, "No! My
I
lily!"
I grab you and I just slap you.
I accept.
Aw, I wanted to do that.
Roll the.
Roll my unarmed strike. I get a 21 to hit you.
You hit me.
My damage is 0. I
you,
think. Wait,
you hit me right in the face.
my unarmed strike just for damage, it just has a line. I'm not very strong.
Don't worry, I'm the same.
I slap you and I do hit you, and you're just like, oh. No damage.
Did we find any Eldritch Lilies?
Pluto?
Not yet, Pluto. Oh, not
Kind of
yet.
wake up.
I mean, good job not succumbing to that thing. I'd
Imagine.
like to say it only works on the weak-minded, but even I was thrown off for a moment there until it got dangerous. But apparently some of us just want to go for the lily.
Sometimes the rolls make the choices for you,
It
and I
definitely
really wanted that lily.
Only works on the weak-minded.
Noted.
I say bitterly. I'm like,
Um,
guys.
So yeah, this has been a nice walk in the park. Any Eldritch Lilies around? I start looking around at our surroundings.
Think we're gonna have to go down.
I think we
into
got to
the
go
grotto.
in. We got to go in to
Okay.
the grotto.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
You head down towards the heavy oaken doors of the grotto, which hang slightly ajar. They're a pair of double doors. They open with a relatively loud creak. Below, you can smell that moist cavern air coming up from below. And you can see that the haze that's in the area kind of floods down in here as you open the doors. There are a set of stairs lead downward into a room which is glowing with green and purple iridescent light.
Charming place we're headed.
And the Eldritch Lily had a purple glow to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a magic with the delirium. But the green. Maybe that's the maybe that's like the moss or the mold.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah. Let's go in.
Who's first? I look at you.
I'll go in first. Only to make sure that, if there's anything we need to look at, we'll make sure you guys don't look at it first.
Yeah, we've had bad luck with that today.
Yeah.
Unless it's a yellow lily, because
Especially
I have
Pluto.
I don't know why, but I'm like I really want one.
Now you want one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
You head down the stairs, and the walls here are plastered with gold-colored and painted plaster that were probably made in the past 50, like less than 30 years ago, really, this was constructed. You can see, so in many places, the plaster has flaked away, revealing the weathered bricks below. It's kind of like a stucco. It's an arched and vaulted ceiling overhead with frescoes painted in the ceiling of saints and angels. You come down to a dome-like circular chamber. And in the center of this chamber is a large fountain, the center of which is another statue of Queen Lenore. Again, like all the others, the face has been carved away, almost slashed away, like deep, thick rents. This statue of Lenore is roughly 12 feet tall, and she has an urn of water that is pouring out into the pool that surrounds the statue. And then surrounding the pool itself are a large manner of offerings. There are piles of glittering golden coins, bits of artwork and tapestries, statues and silverware, some manner of broken blades and bits of armor and shields, some of which are tied up within the skeletal remains of those who still cling to those belongings. Around the pool that Lenore is pouring water into float 3 eldritch lilies floating in the water. The pool itself is covered with it also has many coins and small gemstones inside, and as the light of this room is being cast by the eldritch lilies, the purple light is coming from the lilies because they're in darkness, and like delirium does in darkness, it glows. The light of this room comes from 3 green circular globes, which are set into the 4 opposite sides of the circle of this room. Opposite the entranceway, there is a large inscription on the wall, which is the dedication, once again, from King Ulrich. And then on either sides are 2 gates made of a trellised wrought iron that behind them are short hallways that end in double doors.
I don't know if I particularly trust going after these lilies.
There's something about disturbing the water that makes me uneasy. Like, I feel like there's a stillness here, and that any sort of imbalance upsets the stillness.
While you guys are talking about the lilies, I'm actually approaching the offerings, and I'm kind of like looking through the gold and jewels and gems, trying to see if there's anything of high value.
There's several other bits of going through the offerings. You can see bits and pieces scattered amongst them of almost like charred and petrified bits and chunks of person. Bits that are kind of mixed in, and again, things don't rot in Drakkenheim, so that this corpse is almost charred to the point of being petrified is very strange. But assembled here is there's a lot of stuff here. There's dozens of small gemstones. There are, in fact, as you go through it, there are small bits of delirium as well, about 12 delirium crystals in all. Some of them are in the water as well, and several piles of glittering gold and gems.
Guys, we have a lot of delirium here that we can take.
We should check out those other rooms first.
Okay.
And then we
always
should
come back.
plan. My thought is, being in this weird world, maybe we can like set up an ambush and kind of like disturb the water when we're ready to disturb the water. Be like ready to attack something, because I have a feeling that just like the lady that came out of the water,
Yeah.
Gertrude, I feel like there's some connection with like.
I can also always mage hand one of the lilies out, giving us that opportunity.
At least, yeah, the
Yeah.
chance to. But I think we should check out some of these other doors
Go to
first,
the rooms.
just to make sure that everything's.
I'm still eyeing up these gems.
I'm gonna go towards one of the doors and put my.
The one
Here
to the west or the east?
I'm gonna do the east.
To the east. As you head down this hallway, you can see that there are thick tracks of mud going through the gate and then through the doors.
And the doors, are they just like a door handle? or
Another
latch?
pair of oaken doors with wrought iron.
And are they closed?
They are.
I want to listen against the door.
Is silent.
I look to these. My companions. Open it. Open it.
I pick up one of the gems and start admiring it.
This is like Aladdin.
I know. I'm very aware.
One of the delirium gems?
No, just one of the
Or-
gems. Sebastian likes
yeah, I
getting
know.
paid, and he doesn't. He's not a religious person, so he doesn't think leaving stuff for people is worth it. He's like, well, this is just free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's not superstitious, religious, or anything like that. He's just like, somebody left all this stuff here.
Probably for a reason, Sebastian.
Yeah, for you to find.
Yeah.
I like creating.
There are
playable
several
trigger
bits
traps.
of jade and jet, a few pearls and garnets, at least at least half a dozen gemstones, probably each worth about 100 gold pieces.
The one that I've already picked one up.
Yeah, you've picked up a piece of jet that is probably worth about 100 gold pieces. Small gemstone.
I pocket that.
Okay.
Okay, well, I mean, if that didn't cause anything,
Oh.
you're my guinea pig.
I did that one a little bit cautiously. Like I was just like, and I like looked up at the statue, and I'm just like,
I want to
all right.
pick up any delirium pieces that we have not in the fountain.
Okay. How long do you want to spend collecting treasure?
10 minutes?
I was gonna say 5.
5 minutes? Got a solid 5-minute timeline.
You can all roll a d6.
6.
4.
2.
Okay. After a few minutes of picking up the treasure, the door to the east begins creaking open.
You went to the one to the west?
No, I went to the east.
East?
I thought you said you didn't hear anything. You heard that, right?
I heard that now.
Shh, everybody quiet.
The door opens up. It opens, and you see Gertrude is there. And there are 2 other women with her, all of them with the same pallid flesh. Opening the door behind them is a room that is also awash with color and light. And you can see a room beyond that is look like there are trees, more lilies, and large mushrooms growing inside. And Gertrude and the other 2 women step forward and they say, and Gertrude says, "You've come. Did you bring the lily for the lady?"
I finished shoving the handful of treasure into my pocket. We've come. Where is this lady you speak of? Is she in that room behind you?
They point to the opposite rooms. She's in her chamber. You may not see her. You may leave the lily in the pool as an offering to her. She will come and collect it when it is her time to do so.
We lost the lily.
They look very remorseful and they say, "Oh no. The queen will the lady, she will be so disappointed."
I mean, she has just as many lilies as she had before. I don't see why she'd be disappointed. Did you already tell her that we...
All the lilies of the park are hers.
Well, it's still in
She
the park.
wants every one.
That's a little greedy. What if somebody else would like some?
They are not for others. They are just for the lady.
By the way, as I'm saying this, I like occasionally will look up at them, but I'm like trying to keep my gaze away from looking into their eyes.
Okay. Now that you've successfully shunned her charms, seems like she might be trying to use it against you again, but you automatically resist it.
As soon as I realize that, I now stare her in the eyes. Yeah.
Use your goggles.
Guys, what do?
I say we go in and find this mistress.
They said that we're not allowed to see her. Like, are they gonna attack us?
Okay, we're going to leave now, and then I'm going to start to walk towards the door.
How much delirium did I pick up on the ground?
You've picked up at least 10 shards, yeah.
Woo.
Cool. We can discuss gold later.
Yeah.
So we all start as you start like moving towards the
Yeah.
door.
Well, it's
we all
time
start,
to
but I'm
leave
like
'cause we don't
keeping
have
my
any
eyes on
lilies.
them. Like I'm just moving towards the
And
door.
as you move towards, they say, "Where are you going? What are you doing?"
I mean, we're leaving.
You're leaving.
Yeah, is there a problem?
Are you going to leave the things that you've taken?
We didn't take anything.
Make a deception check.
I say convincingly. 25.
They say, "Fine, then go. It's rude not to leave an offering for the lady."
I take a single gold out of whatever it is that I've taken from the treasure, and I flip it back towards the offerings.
They nod, and they depart back for the other room.
I just think it's rude that this lady isn't coming to greet her guests that come to see her.
Well, if they're going into the other room, we can just
Yeah,
quietly go to the west.
As long as they leave.
Yeah. So they go back to the east.
They do.
Group huddle. Let's just steal a bunch of stuff and run.
Like
We need those-
there's 3 lilies there. We don't even need to mess with this.
Let's
I'm
just
so
grab.
curious.
Let's just grab
Who's
the
the
lilies and
lady?
run.
I want to know.
I need to know if this lady was the one who destroyed the statues. As unacceptable.
Still in the huddle.
I can mage hand those lilies.
We game plan is. I think game plan is getting lilies, but if you guys really want to meet this lady,
We could get so many more lilies, though, probably. Probably.
There's 3 here.
How many do you think we'll need long run?
we could have 4 lilies and no lady.
All right.
But it's a group huddle.
Fine.
What
We'll
do you
get the
guys-
lilies and we'll go, but if we need more, at least we know where to
I
come
know
find
that's
them.
the smart idea. I'm also like I'm like staring at the door to the west. I'm like, what's behind that door? What's behind the door?
And I snapped at my senses. I'm like, no. Let's get the lilies and get out of here.
Fine. So I cast Mage Hand, and I'm like, you guys ready?
Let's do this.
So toss one to me.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm like, okay, get ready. I'm gonna toss you a lily. I'm gonna
give it to
scoop
me.
it out of the water. You guys ready to attack anything that moves?
So I take out my bow and I ready it just in case.
And I'm gonna have
bodyguard style.
a cloth ready to catch the first.
Actually, maybe pull out your sword. I'm really nervous. I'll just, or do you want me to toss?
well, because
it?
I can start to bag them.
Okay, sure. And I scoop the first lily out of the water.
do my bodyguard
Okay.
stance.
You pull the lily up out of the water, and the western door begins to open.
Yes.
Put it back.
I toss it to you.
Monster hunter.
Oh, you know what? I don't
What
like.
do you do?
Okay.
Do you hold the lily or do you drop it?
We came for lilies. I get the hand to toss the lily to Pluto.
Okay. The door opens, and you hear a raspy voice say, "Are you champions? Have you come to bring me a flower?"
Yes.
"Where are my handmaidens?"
Nap time.
Gertrude said she was feeling peckish.
There is a woman in the door. She is clad in a black mourning dress with frills of deep green, and she has a solid black mourning veil covering her face completely. The dress is immaculate. It looks like the dress alone, it is made of this black velvet or silk that almost seems to move of its own accord. The value of this dress alone could be thousands. All you can see is that around her neck, coming down to it's the dress, the morning dress is just a little bit revealing, and you can see around her neck is a multi-jeweled golden gilded necklace with 11 massive emeralds in it.
Do I know this necklace?
Yeah. This was Queen Lenore's necklace.
I just point
In
to her.
fact, you recognize it because some of the statues
Yeah.
were wearing it.
I point to her and I say, "Where did you get that?"
She brings her hand in front of her face, almost like she's gasping, and she says, "It's mine."
That's not yours. I know whose that is. Who are you?
I am the lady. This is my grotto. This is my necklace, and those are my flowers. And as she steps forward, you can see behind her, as the door opens further, She's almost silhouetted by the purple glow of what must be hundreds of eldritch lilies in the room behind her. It is a massive underground kind of greenhouse in the room behind her, and there is almost like sunlight is coming into the room, creating this underground greenhouse that is filled with just eldritch lilies.
I call out to her and I say, if you're who you say you are, what is my name?
She looks back at you and says, I don't have to answer to you at all. And then she turns around and says, quiet now, my turtle doves. Your mother's talking. And she looks back and she says, you insult me and you forget your place.
I don't forget my place. The person who belongs to that necklace, or the necklace belongs to them, would never say that to me.
She says, how dare you accuse me? This is my necklace.
Thief. Give it back.
What are the two of you going to do? As this exchange occurs, what do Pluto and Sebastian do?
I'm like slowly lifting the second lily out of the water with my
And I'm
right
already
hand.
putting the first one in the bag, and I'm just
Okay.
nodding
I'm like
along.
looking in awe. I'm like, but then behind me, this like hand is just scooping the lily out and slowly.
As you
towards
do,
me.
the woman's gaze, which you can barely you can just see her head tilt, and she points at the two of you and says,
The hand stops.
"You men, champions, apprehend this gutter snipe. She insults me. Kill her."
At once.
And I'm
And
gonna
I go, pew.
I'm gonna grab Veo.
Play dead.
Ah!
I grab Veo, and I want to spin you around and push you towards the pool.
Why?
Grab the third.
And
Yeah.
I whisper in your, grab another lily.
We'll drown you, cat.
Cool. Make a deception check, Sebastian.
It's gonna drown me. I hate the water.
23.
She claps her hands together and she says, "Come now, children, watch what happens to those who defy us. Yes, drown the mangy cat. Drown it. Drown
Yeah.
it."
And
And I like
Veo,
kind of like
I'm
nudge
so
you.
sorry, Veo. And I push you into the water.
I'm like, guys!
Grab a
Grab
lily.
it, grab it.
I reach my hand out and grab it and I shove it in Pluto's face.
Oh, she's fighting back. She's a feisty one. And then I push your head underwater.
No,
Veo, are you trying to keep the lily safe, or are you just throwing it in his face?
I am just tossing it. I'm mad at this. I'm like,
Okay.
take the freaking lily.
You
And then
throw the lily at Pluto. Make an attack roll.
This won't be the
with
first time.
with which unarmed?
Mhm.
Oh, 21.
You throw the eldritch lily in Pluto's face, and
That's
it
it.
breaks apart in his head, in his face.
My visor.
And there's a puff of haze and delirium. Make a Constitution saving throw.
So you good for shoving my head underwater.
I got a 10.
Okay, you choke. You choke momentarily, and the lady
Oh my
sees
God.
the flower which lies in ruins on the floor, and she says, "No, one of my flowers. What have you done?"
Oh, that horrible cat.
We're gonna execute her outside, and I grab you and I pull you out of the water.
And she says, and she points back at you and says, "No, no, no. You're fools. You're incompetent fools.
As a bonus action.
You can't harm my plants. My flowers, I need them."
Wait, how many does it take? I want to use
So do
I'm going to use some sorcery points to recover a 3rd level spell slot,
Okay.
which I believe requires all of my sorcery points.
As this begins to escalate, she screams out
Uh-oh.
and she reaches for her veil and she pulls it aside, revealing a mass of tangled vines that end in snapping, snake-like mouths. Her skin is cracked and turning purple, as you can see that there are bits of delirium embedded into her flesh, almost looking like scales coming back up her neck. Vale, a terrible thing has happened to Queen Lenore.
It is Queen
And that's
Lenore?
where we're going to end for the night.
Ah, the queen! No! My lady! Okay.
And over it.
And done.
And see.
I'm so sorry I pushed you into the pool. I was really trying to sell it.
I'm like, and like when it exploded in your face, I'm just like dunking her head under. Like, what was that? Oh.
I'm just like frazzled. Like, have you ever seen a cat when
That
you put
got
them
wet
underwater?
for-
And they're
like-
so angry. I'm just like, oh, my whiskers are all like, bleh. I'm not a happy camper. My queen has said something happened to her. I'm getting drowned by my friends.
You had one job, and that was to grab the Eldritch Lily, and you ruined the lily. You choked Pluto.
There's 100 of them behind her.
We were
There's
I
more.
was planning to escape with these 3. Now I feel like we need more. Tune in next week.
Indeed, indeed.
Oh, that's so funny.
That does wrap it up for this evening. Big thank you to all of you for watching us tonight, and of course to Veo, aka Jill, Sebastian, aka Kelly, and Paluto, aka Joe, for playing with us tonight, and of course to Clayton and Kyle, who have been managing things behind the scenes and participating in what I can only assume has been a very fun chat. I haven't been paying much attention to it. We haven't been able to see it, but apparently chat was really chatty tonight.
It's bumping.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that.
If you are enjoying the stream and want to help support our work, check out our Patreon. You can find it by following the links below or at patreon.com/dungeon_dudes.
Kelly and I post new videos every Thursday on the Dungeon Dudes YouTube channel, where we cover everything Dungeons and Dragons, including advice for dungeon masters and guides for new players. You'll find prior episodes on from this campaign available for your viewing pleasure there as well. Those episodes drop every Friday. Just to let you all of you know in advance, as the holiday seasons are coming up, and because the holidays do fall on Tuesdays, both the 25th and the 1st, we will not be playing Dungeons of Drakkenheim. On those days, we will be taking a break and spending some time with our family. So we will be back mid-January in the year. We will be playing next week, but then we will be on a hiatus for a couple weeks. But the campaign will continue in the new year, and we will be back next week.
Tonight's game session music was again brought by Tabletop Audio, and I think we've been playing around with some new playlists, so I hope you enjoy.
We may have had some issues tonight with that, but
That's okay.
Look forward to it coming up. And the narration in the introduction was performed by 100 Years Boar. Thank you so much. Such a nice voice.
Oh, beautiful.
and our game accessories were generously provided by Axe and Shield. If you haven't checked out Axe and Shield's website, what are you doing? After you're done here, you go to his website and check out his stuff. It's great.
It's literally a new tab. Just open a new tab, and you can do it.
And of course, tonight's terrain was a hodgepodge of stuff from Dwarven Forge, the Terra Tiles, as well as our miniatures by Hero Forge and WizKids.
They're beautiful.
Amazing setups tonight.
Yeah, I was really
Yeah,
pleased
that
with
was
the gardens.
really cool
yeah.
stuff.
Thank you all so much for watching. That wraps us up for tonight, and we will see you next week in the Dungeons of Drakkenheim.